Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Mayor, for the sake of time, if you read the prompt, we're going to be good, and I'll just do some presentations. Thanks.
Look, Chief, thank you for bringing both of these gentlemen here today. Let me present this proclamation to John Lally, and then you'll present these certificates to both. Yes. Whereas on November the 11th, 2023, Mr. John Lally and I'm pronouncing that last name right? Lally?
Lally, yes, sir.
Lally exhibited remarkable courage and selflessness during a critical incident on U.S. Highway 59. And whereas Mr. Lally was driving, witnessed a violent shootout between HPD officers and a carjacking suspect, and without hesitation, he acted with swift bravery. And whereas recognizing the perilous situation, Mr. Lally took cover behind his vehicle, and upon seeing Officer Gibson wounded and in need, bravely rushed to aid the injured officer alongside another uniformed police officer. And whereas amidst the ongoing gunfire, Mr. Lally assisted in pulling Officer Gibson to safety behind his truck, providing crucial cover while maintaining a calm and reassuring presence alongside fellow citizens. And whereas Mr. Lally's decisive actions, unwavering composure, and invaluable assistance were pivotal in ensuring Officer Gibson received prompt aid and support during this harrowing event. And whereas the community and the Houston Police Department are deeply grateful for Mr. John Lally's exceptional heroism, unwavering courage, and selfless dedication to aiding a fellow citizen in distress. And whereas Mr. John Lally is recognized for his outstanding bravery, quick thinking, and noble actions that exemplify the true spirit of altruism and community solidarity, the City of Houston honors Mr. John Lally's exceptional contribution to the welfare of our community. And I have the privilege of saying to you, so therefore I, Sylvester Turner, Mayor, City of Houston, hereby proudly declare December 20th, 2023 as John Lally's Day in the City of Houston.
So, as I said, and the same thing that the mayor reads for our officer, Socrates Trujillo, they acted as a team. So they pulled the officer back together. So I think it's fitting that we recognize y'all at the same time. And thanks again, Mayor, for this opportunity. And thank you. Very proud of you, man. And God has great things to do with your life. And thanks for stepping up. Thank you for doing what y'all do every day. So thank y'all very much. And we'll present these. This is for you. We'll get a picture. All right. Hold this prompt. Come on in. Yeah. All of us together. And you also got this, yeah. Stand right here in the middle. Turn around. Hey. Talking there. I'll get you.
No, I'm just appreciative of everybody that's here and out of here, and I just hope everybody continues to try to help people. And I appreciate y'all very much. I hope y'all have a blessed day.
Mr. Larry, hold on one second. Yeah. We have a few council members that would like to address you. Councilmember Michael Knox.
Okay.
Officer Trujillo and Steve, thank you very much for your bravery and courage. Let me just say that what y'all did together I think speaks volumes about the people of Houston. You know, our police department is very understaffed. We don't have as large a police department as we need for the population that we have. But what we have is a citizenry who supports our police. I understand that you had a negative experience at some point in your past with the police, and you overcame it to help this officer,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
when he needed it. So God bless you, and thank you very much for that. And Officer Trujillo, am I saying that correctly?
Yes, sir.
God bless you, too, and your family.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, too.
Councilmember Tiffany D. Thomas.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Good morning. Chief Fenner, talk about community policing. This is a wonderful example of how we always say around this horseshoe that public safety is all of our responsibility, and you exemplify that. So thank you for finding your role and being a good Houstonian and doing what you can only do. I will tell you, I actually saw that transpire on Instagram. Somebody was on the freeway on live, and I was watching it as it happened. And so to be able to witness it and also put a face to the name and of your heroism, I just really appreciate that. And job well done. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to your family, and keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Officer, you got it.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem Martha Castix Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Chief Fenner, thank you for you and Mayor Turner for making time for this today, because this is the heart of Houston. What you did on that freeway, and Councilmember Thomas is correct, we all watched it live. People were had it on social media. We saw it on the news. I remember sitting in my living room saying, wow, you know, if I was on a freeway, would I get out of my car and go into gunfire and help somebody? And that takes courage and bravery to risk your own life. And to Officer Trujillo, we know y'all do this every day. Y'all walk in the face of danger every day. And I really want to know a little bit more about you. How long have you been on the force? 3 years? 3 years. You've been on the 3 years.
Yes, ma'am.
We appreciate the work that you do day in and day out to keep Houstonians safe. And I'm so glad that we're celebrating the bravery and heroism of both of you gentlemen today. Thank you for having a heart for people and for caring for others, because that's what makes Houston so incredible.
Thank you, ma'am.
And would you mind introducing the people that are behind you? I'm not sure whose guests they are, but we'd love to meet them.
What am I doing now?
Introduce it. Whoever's here with you.
Okay, so I got Jennifer, my girlfriend, she's here, and then I got my two bosses, which is David and Liz Hanks, and this is like a TGM, CGM mix up.
All right. Good? All right. Who you have?
I think my family's all here right here.
Come on up.
Oh, okay.
Come on up. Step talking to Mike.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, I have my lovely girlfriend, Madison. I have my sister, Jennifer, my little niece, Sophia, my mom, and my dad. So they're all here for us.
Congratulations.
Let's get a quick photo of his family and his family. Come on in.
Yeah, we'll take it. And you see what a small world, we give people the proclamations and the plaque. And John Lally just asked me, hey, man, where you get the tennis shoes from,
He liked your swag.
Yeah. So what a wonderful way to start off the morning.
Amen.
All right. So from here, we're going to go to the appointments, Madam Secretary, if you'll call items 1 through 10.
Items 1 through 10 just need a motion.
Castex Tatum moves.
Second, Robinson.
It's been moved and seconded on items 1 through 10. Discussion in favor of post granted. If you're here this morning, please stand and come to the front. Item 1 is for the full-time municipal court judge, Roderick O. Gibson. Is Judge Gibson here? And Judge Marshall, the presiding judge of the municipal court, is also here. Judge Gibson, congratulations. Certainly, the city looks forward to your service. I want to thank you for agreeing to serve, number one. Judge Marshall, let me thank you for presiding over the municipal courts for pretty much most of my time as mayor, and you've done an exceptional job. And now we have Judge Gibson. So, Judge Gibson, if you'll just say hello to us this morning.
Hello, everyone, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kubash.
Judge Gibson, it's good to see you, and it's good to see you, Judge, as well. I've known you for almost 30 years now.
That's true.
We used to sit in the basement and go through that computer program and work on things, and I appreciate all the times we spent together. It was very enjoyable memories. You always had a very positive attitude, and I appreciate your service to the city, and God bless you for that. And
my pleasure.
I appreciate Mayor, the presiding judge that we have. And thank you for listening to me over and over and over that we needed her to be our presiding judge. God bless y'all.
Thank you both. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much.
Okay, on item number 2, the directors of the Braves Oaks Management District, District number 5. If you're here, please stand and come forward. 7 is Starla K. Turnbow. 8 is Marsha G. Fisk. 9 is Ethan Murris. 10 is Steve Moore. 11 is George O. Wanguma. If anyone is here, please stand and come forward. All right. Thank you. Look forward to working with them. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve Moore. Now, Steve, good morning to you, and thanks for your willingness to serve on the Braves Oaks Management District. Really appreciate your service. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Castex Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to highlight the great work of the Braves Oaks Management District. A large portion of the management district is in District K, and you can tell the difference in the areas that they are impacting throughout the community, especially with our esplanades and the delittering. The work that the management district does is intentional, and they do a really good job, and I'm so happy to have each one of you willing to volunteer and participate in making our community better every day. So, Mr. Moore, thank you for being here today, and we look forward to our continued work together.
And Councilmember Pollard.
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning to everyone. District J also shares a small portion of the Braves Oaks Management District, and you all do a tremendous job at helping with a lot of the quality of life issues of Southwest Houston. And Steve, I just want to thank you, the entire board, but specifically you, for your continued engagement and your contributions to the city. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Councilmember Knox.
Thank you, Mayor. And Steve, good morning, and thank you for what you do for the Braves Oaks Management District, but there may be some people here who don't know what Steve does in his real life. He's a property owner, and he lives in the apartment complex that he owns, and he's done a great job, particularly in the Greenspoint area, of making a safe, clean environment for the people that live on his properties. So he puts his money where his mouth is, and he puts his body where his mouth is. And for that, I want to commend you and thank you very much for the work you do, not only for Braves Oaks, but all of the properties that you happen to own in Houston. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Kubash.
Thank you, Mayor. Steve, good to see you. I don't think they mentioned that you're also a substitute teacher at school. You do that so you
I am, and it's always in the low-income schools.
Yes, so that you can relate to the children and so you can stay in. I mean, I don't know where you get the time. You got all these businesses, and yet you go and you basically are volunteering at the school. You know, that's really what you're doing. And I appreciate that and appreciate your service to our children.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate
Any
it.
chance I could have just a couple minutes to
Well,
share
Steve,
some
we're
thoughts?
in a push this morning, so but say hello to us.
So yes for 2 minutes or no?
About 30 seconds, Steve.
Oh, all right. Okay, I can refer you to a handout, and the rest of it, I guess I'll just cover later, but I want to encourage you to pay attention to the kids that are at risk, because I think that's where Houston might not do too well long term if we don't really focus on helping our kids.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
Thanks very much. Okay, thank you. Happy holidays. Okay, and then on 3 and 4, if you're here, please stand and come forward. Board of Directors to the reinvestment zone, the 5th Ward zone. Alice Kerman, Harvey Clemens Jr., Kathy Flanagan, Peyton, and Allison Hay. So this is to the TERS as well as to the 5th Ward Redevelopment Authority. Pastor Clemens, good to see you this morning. Kathy, good to see you this morning. And look forward to, the city looks forward to working with you, continuing to work with you, and appreciate all the things that you all have done in the 5th Ward area. You know, you all have consistently been there, dedicated, committed, hearts in it. So thank you all for the work that you all do. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor. I echo the mayor. Thank you for everything that you do for 5th Ward. Since being in office, we're constantly having groundbreakings. You've been innovative and just coming up with creative ways to make sure that 5th Ward is moving forward, whether it's arts, affordable housing. We just had a groundbreaking on the business center. What is it, 5th? I have to get it 2510. You know, so just thank you for everything that you're doing. I know it's not easy. You have a vision. You have to keep moving forward. Sometimes you have people on the sides not supporting what you do, but you keep it going. You know, and so I just really appreciate the work that you do for 5th Ward and the District B. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Shabazz.
Thank you, Mayor. I can speak just a little today. Thank you. I just wanted to commend you both and all that have been given yourselves for service. And certainly Pastor Clemens, my friend Joy, always sends her regards. And we just look forward to the good work that you all are doing and will continue to do. Thank you.
And I want to thank you all for over the 8 years, having worked very closely with this administration. And thank you. You have done some incredible things. And I think there's even an item on the agenda today dealing with St. Elizabeth Place. So if you'll just say hello to us this morning, start with Pastor.
Thanks, Council, for your support. All of what we do could not have happened if it had not been for your support. And Mayor, thank you for your leadership in the city of Houston through all of the crisis that we've been through. We'll miss your leadership, sir. But we hope we don't miss you continuing in our city doing great work.
Thank you. Kathy.
I'd like to echo Reverend Clemens. We appreciate your support in the work that we're doing to comprehensively revitalize Houston's 5th Ward. And the work that we do cannot be done without your support and your investment. So we appreciate that, and we hope that will continue going forward. We have many great things in store for the city of Houston. Thank you for being a mayor to all communities, Mayor Turner.
Thank you. Thank you all so very much. Happy holidays. Okay. And 5, if you're here, please stand and come forward. This is to the Office of Business Opportunity Advisory Board. Rogelia Aura Roger Pumbro, and I may be messing that name up. Bill Brown, Eggert Melton, Craig Williams, Grace Rodriguez, Brandy Harlow, Susan Deason, Dyson, Adriana Gonzalez, Leonard Toyota, Tom Yunk, Alan Bergeron, Raul Keddy, Marlon Mitchell, Katrina Chambers. And since I just kind of called your names up randomly, Susan, why don't we start with you? Just give us your...
Well, thank you so much for believing in me, and I thank all of you for your service. Thank you.
Good morning. As the chair of the Office of Business Opportunity Board, it is our pleasure to serve and represent MEBs, WEBs, small businesses, and we look forward to another year of hopefully making a difference under the leadership of Director Murray.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone. This is a great opportunity to serve in an important initiative. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. This is another opportunity to help small business as a small business owner. But I want to highlight Houston as a diverse city and city of opportunity, because for somebody like me, born and raised in Cameroon, to have an opportunity to sit at the table to express my view, give my opinion, and support other businesses and represent my community, it means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. It's an honor to serve. Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and really believing that small businesses are the economic driver of our economy. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor, for your service, and thank you all councils. And I'm proud to serve on the OBO Advisory Board to help our small business to get to the next level.
Thank you.
How you doing? Bill Brown and my fraternity brother. Thank you for all your service. Thank you for what you do. I've been here since 2015 from St. Louis. Many people who know me know my energy and my passion for helping small businesses. So I work for Tellefson, a major contractor here in Houston, and I buy work. So I've been able to, if I could do a job with all minority businesses, I would do it. That's how passionate I am about it. But with the rules and the way things work, it works out. So thank you, and look forward to serving on the board and making things happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Alan Bergeron. Thank you for your leadership and support of the mayor and the rest of the council, support of this department, and to small businesses throughout the city.
How you doing, Mayor, City Council? Thank you for everything you've done for us. My name is Ed Milton, small business owner, small consulting firm. One thing I must say is my business got started because of OBO certification, my first contract. So I appreciate everything you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Kasich Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm super excited about this board and these reappointments and appointments because small businesses are the lifeblood of our city. They keep our economy strong. The number of jobs produced from these small businesses is what keeps Houstonians working. The diversity of this board, the number of stakeholders, people who have started their businesses through OBO and traverse the challenges and use that experience to make it better for others is exactly what we need from members that are serving on boards like this. I want to thank Director Murray for her incredible work and all that she does in the Office of Business Opportunity. To Brandy Harlow, District K resident, the chair of the board, thank you for your service. And each one of you, you do a great job, and all of our business owners can learn and glean from your experiences and the policies that you help us to shape for other businesses throughout the city of Houston. Raul, good to see you. Bill Brown, thank you for the work that you do to each one of you. We appreciate it.
And Councilman Evans Shabazz.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Director Murray, for all of the wonderful work you do. This board is so very, very important, especially, you know, I represent a community of small businesses that really, really need to have an opportunity to be engaged. And so I do thank you for your service. And certainly, Linda Toyota, so great to see you back from my HCC days. And of course, I've known Alan Bergeron forever. And Katrina Chambers, certainly for all of the engagement that you all do with District D, and Brandy and all of you who have rendered your time for service. Thank you so very much.
And Councilman Pollard.
Thank you, Mayor, and I just want to thank all of you all for your service, putting forth your time, Director Murray, for your leadership. I'm always looking at the minority participation on the items that come before council, And it's important for us to continue to educate those who do not know anything about how the city operations work, the certification process, filling out the applications. But the board is also extremely important because you all have small businesses. So you all are the boots on the ground to kind of understand the practical and the day-to-day of how to engage with the city. And I think it's vitally important for us to be able to hear from you all and get advice on how we set policy. So I want to thank all of you all for your service and happy holidays.
Thank you all very much, Marsha. Quite frankly, I didn't recognize you.
I wonder why.
But Marsha Murray, thank you for your leadership. Really appreciate it. Everything that you've done, and to the entire board. Look forward to working with you, Susan. Your leadership of the Greater Houston Women's Chamber is amazing in and of itself. So all of you, I know, look forward to working with you from the sideline. But thank you for your service to the city. So thank you also very much. Okay. And then on 6. 6 is to Church 28. Was that 5 and 6? That was just 5. That was the OBO Advisory Board. And 6 is to Directors of the Reinvestment Zone 28. Okay, what are we working? What are we working with?
6 is
Okay, hold on. Let's make sure we're on the same page. We got different agendas around here.
6 is here taking.
See, 6 on mine is Church 28.
That's not what everybody else has.
Office of OBO.
So what is?
Where's OBO?
OBO.
Okay.
You can have it.
We've approved them all.
Okay.
That jacket may have bedazzled us. That is.
Okay, then I have the wrong one.
Yeah, I'm going to print you out a correct one. On theirs, this is 6 and this is 5.
So we're on item 7. Okay, on 7. 7 is the Greater North Side Management District. If you're here, please stand and come forward. 1 is Edwin Cavitas. 2 is Jose A. Calindo. No, I'm missing his name out. 3 is Mayra Vasquez. 4 is Christian Barraza. And 5 is Mary M. Lawler. And if you all will restate your names and give us just a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. It's Mayra Vasquez, and thank you, Mayor, for your leadership.
Thank you.
Good morning. Christian Barraza. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Look, let me thank you all for your willingness to serve on this TERS, the Greater Northside Management District, which is very, very important, very important. So, number 1, thank you for stepping up and saying yes. Number 2, look forward to working very closely with the mayor, members of the city council, the community, as we look to enhance and improve these communities and these neighborhoods. So can't say enough for you. So happy holidays, and thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we're on 8, Houston Complete Communities Advisory Board. If you're here, please stand and come forward. 1 is Eileen Egan. 2 is Kathy Bluford Daniels. 3 is Ken Rogers. 4 is Nora Luna. 5 is Marika Moore. 6 is Yvette Arellano. 7 is Sandra Rodriguez. And 8 is Charity Carter, with Sandra Rodriguez serving as the chair. So again, I called your names, but if you'll just, again, restate your names so we'll know. Starting right here. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. My name is Nora Luna, and I am very grateful to be given this opportunity And thank you so much for all that you do for our communities.
And which area?
I'm sorry, Alief Westwood.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I'm Marika Moore from 2nd Ward. Happy to serve the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sandra.
Buenos dias. Good morning. Sandra Rodriguez. I am in District J in the Gulfton area.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ken Rogers, and I give you the opportunity to guess what district I'm from.
Good morning, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Mayor, the jacket is awesome. I'm Kathy Booker-Daniels from 5th Ward, and thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you, Councilmember Jackson, and thank you all for your service.
Thank you all. Let me just start. Can tell you how important this advisory board is, because it is about these communities that for a long time have been underserved, under-resourced, lack of investments. And so we certainly want to keep that going and want to keep the emphasis on it, because oftentimes we start things and then we stop. But the community is still saying, okay, what's next? And so you become the eyes, the ears, the advocates, the voices to say, don't stop, keep going, and to keep these initiatives and these projects moving forward. So your presence is critically important. And quite frankly, the way I see it, you become the city council of complete communities, okay? Interfacing with this city council and administration and others as well. And it's my hope that as we move forward to the local government corporation, you'll interface with them as well if council moves forward on that, okay? So let me yield. Councilmember Thomas.
Thank you, Mayor Turner. I am excited about all of the appointments this morning. And then thank you, Mayor, for listening to us to make sure that the integrity of the action plans will continue to be carried through. My ask is to keep us honest and make sure that all of the work for the years that we've asked you to support and identify your priorities, that they make it to the finish line. It's incredibly important, and we want to prove true on our promise to communities that we hear their voice. Special shout out to Nora Luna, who's my neighbor. But she also contributed to the Alief Westwood Action Plan, and I could just walk down and knock on her door and say, what is going on? So I appreciate you. She's a recent graduate of Project Blueprint with United Way, and she works with Centerpoint, one of our partners. So excited to have your contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Evan Shabazz.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to, of course, thank everyone for their service. This is so important to help these communities to be able to get the resources that they need. And certainly I know Trustee Kathy Blueford-Daniels for all of her work for many, many years, and she is so highly regarded not just in her area, but throughout the city for her voice of reasoning. And so, of course, then I have Mr. Ken Rogers over there. Of course, you can tell he loves 3rd Ward, right? And so certainly I thank him for his service. His wife is back there. She's pretty quiet. She's my Jack Yates alum, and we have adopted Ken as well because he does such tremendous work with the Jack Yates alumni. And I see Mr. Carl Davis back there as well. So thank you, each and every one of you, for your service.
Thank you. Certainly want to acknowledge Shannon Buggs, the Director of Complete Communities. Thank you. Councilman Pollard.
Thank you, Mayor, and I'm glad to see this item on the agenda and be able to continue the good work of the complete communities and the foundation that was laid. To Director Buggs, I want to thank you for your leadership and all that you've done to contribute to all of our communities. And I think this board is exceptional because it comes from the district council members that were able to identify the work that you all put forth in the community. And so shout out to you all, and a special shout out to Sandra Rodriguez, and glad to see you serving as chair as well. Happy holidays to you all.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem Cassidy Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor. That was exactly what I was going to say, Councilmember Pollard, that these members of this advisory board came from the recommendations of each of the districts that specifically have projects in their complete communities. And I know Charity Carter's not here, but we've got a big project in District K that we want to see cross the finish line. Unfortunately, these projects take longer than our terms of service. And so we have to put this board in place to make sure that your work is not in vain, and we get to continue the work in those communities. So I'm looking forward to our project in Fort Bend and every one of the projects that you represent and the work that you'll continue to do to make sure that we do have communities that feel complete. Thank you.
Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, everyone, for your willingness to serve. First of all, let me thank Mayor Turner for his vision on complete communities, and Director Buggs, thank you for everything that you're doing as well. And thank you for everyone for your willingness to serve. I also want to thank Yvette Arellano, who's representing Magnolia Park, Smith Addition, Manchester. I was born and raised in Magnolia Park, and and that's one reason I ran for City Council, because the neighborhood had been neglected by the city of Houston, in my opinion. But thank you, Mayor, for your vision, complete communities. This gives us an opportunity for neighborhoods that have been neglected by our city to have a bright future. And it's people like you that are serving your communities to make sure that that happens. So thank you so much for everything that y'all are doing.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mayor, I want to thank you for, hearing us out with, as regards to this board to oversee this project to make sure it's still moving forward. Community District B have 2 complete communities, and the residents have put a lot of effort in making sure that your vision and their vision is realized. And so I know this board would make sure that, the vision is realized. And so Trustee Daniels, thank you for answering the call. You've done a lot of work in District B, being trustee and super neighborhood president, and just, we keep you at work. And so thank you for accepting this nomination. And Director Buggs, thank you for everything as well. Thank you all for saying yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Councilmember Cisneros.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Director Buggs. I'm grateful that we have this program, and I'm really grateful for all of you who are joining this board. Clearly, you know your community so well, and you're successful advocates already. I want to just really give a big thank you to Marika Moore for accepting this position. There are 2 complete communities in District H, and there's a lot of struggle there too, around old neighborhoods, that are encircled downtown that are changing, and we need to adapt. And I really appreciate, Marika, your commitment to safe streets and your very successful advocacy. So I look forward to seeing what you do and how you're able to help to continue to advocate in this role. Thank you.
Councilmember Robinson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to add to what the colleagues are saying, Mayor, because I've had a great conversation with Director Buggs about the great work of Complete Communities, and I think we really owe you just an incredible amount of credit for this great project. I think of it as among your highest signature achievements, and I'm saying that as the former president of the Super Neighborhood Alliance, in addition to being a council member up here for 10 years, 8 of which with you, Mayor. And what this provides, I think, as some of the district council members have said, is, and you said it, it's a secondary council. It's the community council. And secondary for us, liaising with our district council members. In many ways, you all duplicate your service on your super neighborhoods. You know from where you come in your neighborhoods. This Complete Communities has been such an insightful and appropriate way to turn development around in this city, and we're seeing it happen. And this is how we do it, with project-by-project activities. And I know, Mayor, as you and I travel around the city, we see it as we did this past weekend in District B and District A, and all down the alphabet. And it's just amazing. So you all, many of whom I know personally, are incredible people. I'm so grateful, and just remember where you stand in that strata, because we are here for you. You are here to help us, and we want to help you do your jobs. And it's a pipeline that has never existed before in this city, and it's absolutely remarkable. And I'm extremely grateful for that.
Look, I echo all of that, and can't tell you how delighted I am that you all are agreed to be in this role, because it is organic in so many ways. We spent a year and a half, 2 years in these Complete Communities. working with the community, coming up with a number of initiatives and projects. But what sometimes is very frustrating, communities and neighborhoods know what they need, but the resources are lacking. And I think what we have to bear in mind, there are 5 people who work in complete communities, Shannon being the director, 1. Only 1 of the 5 is a paid city employee. That's right. Shannon and the other, and 4 are grant funded. That's right. The dollars for complete communities in large part comes from outside of the city. But in terms of people sometimes think complete communities and the staff, city employees, well, they're working here at the city, but they are paid for by outside funding. Houston Endowment, for example, put the first big piece, $2 million. And it was Houston Endowment who said, we believe in this initiative, and we will provide the funding to pay for your people. And that's why you represent the first major piece. And I'm so excited that you're coming up today, because the local government corporation is the second piece. And that's an entity to raise the dollars, help raise the dollars, to help push through the initiatives that have already been identified. Yeah, and more grant funding. They're not coming up with any new projects. Their goal is simply to help raise the money for you all to use to move these projects forward. But your voices are critically important. So thank you. I know you will be active and engaged because the community needs your voices, and the city does as well. So thank you, happy holidays, and I look forward to what will unfold in years to come. Thank you. Okay, 9 and 10 are the same. And this is the reinvestment zone, Upper Kirby. And so if you're here, please stand and come forward. Stanley Charles Jones Jr., Sidney S. Buddy Bailey, Tammy C. Wallace, Emil Pena, Russell H. Jackson, Robert Casey, Susan Dyson. And the same thing for 10 as well, which is the reappointment to the Development Authority. Susan and Tammy. Again, 2 dynamic women.
You got 2 chambers here.
Yeah. 2 chambers, 2 incredible, amazing leaders that are making things happen. And again, both of you are busy, but quite frankly, when you need things done, you go to busy people. So again, I can't tell you how amazingly helpful you all have been with this administration over the next 8 years. And I know and by your virtue of saying yes, your service continues. So thank you so very much. Now introduce yourselves one more time, Tammy.
Tammy Wallace. I'm the co-founder, president, and CEO of the Greater Houston LGBT Chamber of Commerce. And Mayor, thank you. You know more than anyone that representation matters. And you have done that and had that incredible commitment in your 8 years to boards and commissions. So it is an honor and a privilege to serve. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. Susan, one more
And
time.
I'm Susan Dyson, President and CEO of the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce, and proud to serve. And I wanted to thank Councilmember Peck for appointing me to this position. And I thank you again, all of you, for all you're doing. It takes a lot, I know, to serve the community, and I hope you know how much we appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, thank you both for your willingness to serve on this. And Tammy, let me take this opportunity to say thank you. It's been a joy working with you, and thank you for everything you do with the LGBT Chamber of Commerce. So thank you.
Again, thank you so very much. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, and let's back up to 5. The Board of Directors, the reinvestment zone number 28. And if you're here, please stand and come forward. Bill Brown, Sean Menican, and Nicola Fuentes Tubia. And is that it? Okay. One more time, introduce yourself.
Absolutely. I'm staying busy. So thank you again to everyone for the appointment to the TERS. Again, it's in the medical center. I started in the medical center with Memorial Hermann when we did the big addition there with the Hermann Pavilion 2. So knowing a lot about the area, I think it was only prudent for me to get involved in the TERS in that regard. So thank you again, and thanks to everybody for allowing me to serve.
Look, thank you. Appreciate you. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm sharing my space with the Food Insecurity Board. Councilmember Pollard, you want to take it from here?
Thank you, Mayor. 2 years ago, we voted on creating the Food Insecurity Board, and that was a new board that came to the city that was charged with identifying ways in which we could put forth policy and ideas that we could consider to address some of the food insecurity issues in the city of Houston. And Mayor, I want to thank you for your leadership and being open to creating this board. We have some of the board leadership before us right now. We charged them with, as a body, working over the last 2 years on some ideas and concepts that we can consider and hopefully move forward on. And so I want to thank all of you all for your service. This is just a portion of the board who is here. Shark, I want to thank you for your leadership as chair of the board. And this was actually his idea through the Minaret Foundation to present to us the need for a food insecurity board in Houston, because many of the other major cities around the country already had one. So I want to thank you for your engagement. Thank all of you all for your service. And I want to give you a few minutes to address the council and the mayor on some of the work that you all have been doing.
Thank you, Councilmember Pollard. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed Mayor Turner and respected members of the Houston City Council, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to stand before you today as representatives of the Houston Food Insecurity Board. I'd also like to introduce my compatriots, Zuhur Gear, Lorenzo Salinas, and Kathy Payton, who are fellow board members on the Houston Food Insecurity Board. Over the past 2 years, our dedicated board has worked to address the critical issue of food insecurity in our city today. Today, I present to you a brief report on our journey, accomplishments, and our vision for the future. 2 years ago, under the leadership of Councilmember Pollard, we were formed with a singular purpose: to provide practical policy suggestions to lessen food insecurity in our city. Born during the tail end of the COVID pandemic, we spent considerable time shaping our objectives, engaging with stakeholders, and aligning ourselves with a mission that would leave a lasting impact on our community. I also spent considerable amount of time with several of you here, listening to your vision for the food insecurity in the future. As just a sample, CM Plummer has been outspoken about the need for creating community gardens and creating infrastructure to support small businesses and grocery stores. CM Evans Shabazz has an innovative approach towards increasing distribution in her district through a facilities approach and partnering with the Houston Food Bank. CM Knox had several suggestions on lifting the underprivileged. CM Kamen and CM Gallegos pushed us to work on innovative ways to alleviate food deserts, just to name a few of you. Along with the terrific ideas put forward by the staff in each council office, has been reassuring and a great reminder that our city is working and directed towards heading off food insecurity. We also, as a board, met with a significant number of stakeholder groups: the Houston Food Bank, Second Servings, No Kid Hungry, Target Hunger, Interfaith Ministries, the YMCA, the MCC, Jewish Family Services, Catholic Charities, Super Neighborhoods Groups, community associations, and so much more, to understand their perspectives and where they wanted to see the city move. In the latter half of our first year, we witnessed the culmination of our efforts in the adjustment of permitting policies and a successful collaboration with Mayor Turner to significantly reduce the costs associated with establishing food pantries across our city of Houston. To date, 48 locations throughout the city have been provided training materials and are being onboarded to create those food pantries in our city. And our partnership with Whirlpool further propelled our mission by delivering 14 complimentary fridges to locations throughout the city, and more are on the way. As we stand today, we are actively working with the local NGO to ensure the long-term sustainability of this program, driving it to completion alongside other pantries and Whirlpool. Our endeavors did not stop there. In the remaining time of this year, we strategically split into triads to research policies throughout the nation. This is a very active working board. Rejecting the notion of reinventing the wheel, our triads delved into depositories of food insecurity policies in various municipalities, identifying successful projects that could be retrofitted and piloted in Houston. The policies we identified had to meet stringent criteria. They had to be low cost, they had to be bipartisan and broad-based, and they had to be easily accessible. The triads came back to the General Board with 3 key ideas: finding a compromise to feeding the homeless in the downtown area, adopting a double-up buck strategy, and parking benefit zones. The first 2 ideas in the process of being refined, and Zuhur and Lorenzo provide you with some more information on that right now. And a detailed presentation on each of these projects will be sent to all of you for review. But for a brief presentation on the parking meter issue, I present to you Lorenzo Salinas of the Hobby Center.
Hello, everyone. One of the projects we are researching is the creation of a parking benefit district to address both parking needs and the critical community issue of food insecurity. Under this measure, a specific percentage of parking meter revenue generated during the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. will be allocated to support the City of Houston's effort in combating food insecurity through the creation of a fund that can be used by the city or allocated to community organizations. Recognizing the pressing need for comprehensive solutions, the strategy entails directing 60% of the net meter revenues calculated beyond a defined threshold towards initiatives aimed at alleviating food insecurity within the city. This allocation of funds not only acknowledges the immediate challenges posed by food insecurity, but also underscores the city's commitment to employing diverse revenue streams to address societal issues. By dedicating a significant portion of parking meter revenue, the proposal ensures a sustainable and consistent source of funding to support initiatives combating hunger. This approach aligns with a broader vision of creating a symbiotic relationship between civic services and community well-being, highlighting the city's responsiveness to a multifaceted challenges faced by its residents. Moreover, it brings attention to the interconnected nature of urban challenges and the importance of integrated solutions. By leveraging parking meter revenue, this initiative exemplifies a strategic and localized approach to funding solutions for citywide issues. This approach encourages collaboration and shared responsibility among residents and local government, fostering a sense of community engagement in the fight against food insecurity. It also will be a revolutionary approach because I haven't found any other city doing something like this. So thank you, everyone. Lorenzo Salinas.
If you took anything away from that brief presentation, that's you will enjoy paying your parking meter and you will enjoy paying the fines because it could benefit food insecurity in the city of Houston. The next presentation I give over to Zuhur.
Yes, so we are triad number 2, and our triad is currently researching the expansion of the Develop program, enhancing the capacity of residents to provide fresh produce to their families. Building on the success of a localized implementation between an amazing organization called the Urban Harvest and local farmers market, the program aims to leverage a blend of federal funds and city resources to significantly expand its reach and impact. By utilizing federal dollars and matching them with the city funds, the program aims to empower low-income families with increased access to nutritious produce. This collaborative effort not only bolsters local economies, but also ensures that the benefits of fresh, locally sourced food extend to those who need it most. And the Double Ups program carries the ripple effect that resonates through the local and regional agricultural landscape. By bolstering sales at farmers market, it becomes a pivotal force in supporting the livelihood of farmers who are the backbone of our food system. The increased demand for their produce not only amplifies their economic viability, but also encourages sustainable farming practices. As the program looks to expand its footprint into grocery stores, this economic boost has the potential to reverberate even further, creating a win-win scenario that uplifts both urban communities and the hardworking farmers who cultivate the land. In essence, the Double Ups program is not only a beacon of nutrition for families, but also a catalyst for economic empowerment, fostering a resilient and interconnected food ecosystem within and beyond the city of Houston. Recognizing the vital role of nutrition in overall well-being, the expansion of the Doubles Up program aligns with the broader vision of promoting health and equity within the community. Extra produce obtained through this initiative serves as a nutritional lifeline for food insecure families, contributing to improved health outcomes and fostering a strong, more resilient community. The program's approach extends beyond farmers market, seeking partnerships with local grocers to accept Doubles Up, broadening its impact and making nutritious options more accessible in various neighborhoods throughout the city. In essence, the Doubles Up program not only addresses immediate food needs, but also acts as a catalyst for positive, lasting change within the city of Houston.
Both of these programs are just a sampling of the work that we've undertaken. The idea is not to recreate the wheel. These programs and policies are already established throughout the country. What we need to do is identify how they work here. Looking ahead to 2024, inspired by a friend of many of you here, the late Larry Payne, a true servant leader and a friend of Houston and friend of mine, he said to me at the very beginning of the creation of this board, after Mayor Turner and y'all had brought this board into existence, that to make a real impact on food insecurity, we must make it a part of our culture. Car safety became a part of our culture with seatbelts. Masks at one point became a part of our culture during COVID, and gun safety is slowly becoming a part of our culture through the mandatory distribution of gun locks with purchases. And so too must the fight against food insecurity. Our vision for 2024 involves collaborating with city departments here at City Hall to integrate food insecurity considerations into their activities. In conclusion, examples from other municipalities, including the health department, expediting permits for mobile food vendors and groceries in food insecure areas, Public Works Department utilizing water bill inserts to promote SNAP and WIC benefits, and the Parks Department working with Texas A&M AgriLife to introduce monthly nutrition classes. We hope to further a constant culture at City Hall in every department to identify ways the city can push back against food insecurity. In closing, we extend our gratitude to Mayor Turner for his leadership, his courage, and his unwavering support in delving into these sensitive topics, along with each one of you here today at City Council. Together with continued collaboration and dedication, we shall achieve more. Thank you for your time and commitment to building a healthier and more secure and prosperous Houston.
Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate your service. Appreciate the work that you all have done. And I know that the work will continue. And I appreciate you all providing us at least with the highlights of what has taken place up to this point in time. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank Councilmember Pollard for taking the lead and initiating the Food Insecurity Board, but just incredible, incredible work. So thank you all so very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. A few more comments, and we will move on to the agenda. Yesterday here at City Hall was an incredible day with the astronauts from Artemis 2. It was just highly inspirational. I mean, very well attended. The messages from all four were powerful. The interpersonal relationship amongst all four of the astronauts was very apparent. The first woman that will be on this mission, the first person of color, the first Canadian, someone outside of the United States. And then, of course, Director Vanessa Weiss was here as well. But just an incredible day. For those who were not here, let me just tell you, missed it. I think of the 8 years, that will go as a highlight. Mm-hmm. And then for the kids who were here that asked questions to them, just an amazing morning. If that was not enough, then we went over to Ellerton Field for the Texas Southern University Aviation Initiative, where they are building their aviation center, and they stand to be the premier University for Aviation. All the students that were there from Sterling, they have the aviation program, students at Texas Southern, the faculty. I give a lot of credit to Houston Airport System, Mario Diaz and his team. Andy was very instrumental in making this happen. But that was to go from the astronauts here at City Hall to the aviation program with Texas Southern at Ellington Field. And then in the background was the spaceport, Mayor Pro Tem. So quite frankly, in this city, we're building vertical integration. And that is from our schools, high school, colleges, TSU, and then on to the spaceport, and then you got NASA and Johnson Space Center. So it's a vertical integration when it comes to space and aviation and aeronautics. So just an amazing day. I do want to highlight that, again, and I'm not going to try to take the time to give a wrap-up of 8 years. Time will not allow. But what I will say is that based on everything that we've done over the past year, the fund balance that we will be passing forward is $426 million. So $426 million will be the fund balance. That is above what we budgeted for. If you can recall, in June, we said about 402, 404, but the fund balance will be 426. That is more than what's been left in quite some time. And so for all of the council members who are leaving, I think we can take, that's a positive note. For those who were here and moving forward, that's a positive note. But a fund balance of $426 million. And with all the talk about the financial crisis, let me just say, yes, it's a financial crisis if you don't manage well. Okay? Because in 8 years, I came in with a financial crisis. But in 8 years, we've not laid off one person. Not one in 8 years. So, yeah, it'll be a financial crisis if you blow it. Okay? So you have to manage well. And if you manage well, you ought to be able to deal with it. I will say to you that the net position of the city when we came in was negative $95 million. The net position as we prepare to leave is $7.6 billion. Okay? So from negative $95 million to $7.6 billion in the black as we leave. So from the financial point of view, working collectively, we are moving forward. With respect to big items, pensions, we didn't move it down the road. We dealt with it. With respect to the consent decree, if you all can recall, the city has been dealing with the consent decree since 2010. We end up getting that done. So the next administration doesn't have to deal with that. I'm very, very proud of what we've done with complete communities. I'm very proud of that. Councilmember Thomas, in A-Leaf, y'all waited some 20-plus years for the A-Leaf Multi-Service Center. And that is done, state of the art. Councilmember Shabazz on Sunnyside Health Center, done. And now Councilman Pollard, we've taken measures to build the facility in Sharpstown. To Vice Mayor Pro Tem, the Dr. Shannon Walker Library that we cut the ribbon on Saturday, state of the art. If you haven't gone over there, please check it out. It is a beautiful, beautiful facility. With parks and our complete communities, before the year is out, in 1 year alone, we would have substantially enhanced 22 local neighborhood parks. One of them will be taking place today. That's not counting the Love You parks. When you factor in the Love You parks and then the 50-50 parks, we will have done before the end of the year 32 parks in 1 year alone, which is an incredible feat. So across the board, when you look at what is happening in the city, great. With respect to crime and homicides, when I looked at the numbers this morning, like 124 fewer homicides than in 2022. Some 86 fewer homicides than in 2020. No, 124 homicides fewer than in 2021. Some 86 fewer homicides than in 2022 last year. And 2 years ago, that number was up into the 450 or 60 by this time. Now, it's like 338, getting really close to back to where we were at the 2019 level. So we have made tremendous progress on that front, and the numbers continue to go down. So I'm very proud of what we have done collectively, and we are moving forward. So let me thank you. Let me thank you all. I wanted to wear my little red jacket today because in so many fronts it is on a positive note. You know, it's a celebration. Ecclesiastes 3rd chapter says that there's a time and a season. You know, things will come to an end. And so no matter how good they may be, the seasons will change. And when the seasons change, then you have to change with those seasons and you move forward. To all of the council members who came in together, and well, maybe not together, but are leaving together, Councilmember Kubosh and Robinson, Gallegos, Martin, Knox, Cisneros. Let me thank you all for your incredible service. Don't have to agree all the time, but it can be fun in disagreeing. Okay, so let me thank you for your incredible service. But collectively, I think we can take pride in what we have done. To those who are returning, Jackson, Pollard, Castek Tatum, Huffman, Martha Castek Tatum, Thomas, Alcorn, Plummer, Peck. Oh, did I call your name?
You said Castek.
Did I say Castek Tatum twice? Carolyn Evans Shabazz, the church secretary, for returning. Let me thank y'all for your work over the last 4 years, working together, and then I have no doubt that you all will continue the work over the next 4 years. So that's the good news, and part of the good news that I take away is that you've sat in these seats, you kind of know the ropes, and I think you're going to be pushing to make sure that the city continues to move forward in a very positive way. I have no doubt about that, and so let me thank you. But collectively, it's been incredible. I do walk away saying that no other mayor in the city of Houston has dealt with 7 federally declared disasters, pensions, a consent decree, social civil unrest, all at the same time. No other. And sometimes, you know, what I've also taken away and what I said to another group, you have to be, what I said before, you have to know what you have done. And I tell kids all the time, do not allow somebody to tell your story or to tell you what your value is. You have to know your value. You have to know what you have done. And if you know what you have done, then you can move forward with the assurance that all is well and all is good. And I do that. And so I feel real good. I had to wear my red tennis shoes and my red jacket and my hat because it reflects my spirit. And yesterday, I mean, with the astronauts being present and with what they said will resonate with me for a long, long, long time. So thank you all for just an incredible journey. Having said all of that, 50-50, I've covered that. BARC is at capacity and urgently needs the public's help. So if you can adopt or foster a pet, please do so. And the adoption center is open at 3200 Carr Street, and more information is available online. I think that covers it for today. Happy holidays, and I hope you get everything that you need, that you want. I went shopping on, what's the day, Wednesday? I went shopping Monday night. No, I wish it was the Jelly Cake. I went with my daughter.
Bad move.
I'm done. I have contributed to the city's economy.
Sales tax revenue.
So I'm done. All right, having said that, Madam Secretary, let's go to the agenda.
Under the miscellaneous category, items 1 through 10 have already been done. Item 11 has been removed for separate consideration. Under the accept work category, items 12 through 14 have been removed for separate consideration. Under the purchasing and tabulation of bids category, items 16, 20, 21, and 23 have been removed for separate consideration. Need a motion for items 15, 17, 18, 19, 22, and 24.
Castex Tatum move.
Second, Robinson.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. In favor, opposed, and granted.
Under the ordinances category, item 44 has not been received and will be considered truthfully if it is received before the end of the meeting. Items moved for separate consideration.
Wait, hold on.
You can still express it.
Okay, I'll send that the wrong one. Sorry about that. Okay, go ahead, Madam Secretary.
Items removed for separate consideration. Since the list has been distributed, the numbers have changed, so I will repeat them again. Items 25, 26, 27, 29 through 33, item 35, 38, 41 through 43, 46 and 47, 51 and 52, and 55. Those numbers again are 25, 26, 27, 29 through 33, 35, 38, 41 through 43, 46 and 47, 51 and 52, and 55. Just need a vote on the balance.
Discussion. In favor, opposed, and granted. Okay.
Items removed for separate consideration. Item 11 needs a motion.
Second, Robinson.
It's been moved and seconded on item 11. Discussion on 11. Discussion. In favor, opposed, and granted.
Item 12 needs a motion.
Castex Tatum move.
Second, Robinson.
It's been moved and seconded on item 12. Councilmember Kubash on 12.
Mayor, this is a contract to repair our water. Is this company under investigation by OIG, the Office of Inspector General?
Nope, not that I'm aware of.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on item 12? Discussion? In favor, opposed, granted on 12.
Item 13 needs a motion.
Castex Tatum move.
Second, Robinson.
Moved and seconded on item 13. Councilmember Kubash.
Mayor, I have the same question. Is this company under investigation by the OIG?
Not that I'm aware of, Councilmember Kubash.
Thank you.
Okay. In favor, opposed, granted on 13.
Item 14 needs a motion.
Castex Tatum move.
Second, Robinson.
Councilmember Kubash.
Mayor, same question. Same question. Is this company under investigation?
Not that I'm aware of,
Thank you,
Councilmember
Mayor.
Kubash. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 14.
Item 16 needs a motion.
Cass Tatum, move.
Second, Robinson.
Been moved and seconded on item 16. Discussion on 16. Discussion. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 16.
Item 20 needs a motion.
Cass Tatum, move.
Second, Robinson.
Councilmember Plummer on 20.
I'd like to tag this item, Mayor, please.
Item 20 has been tagged by,
Thank you.
been tagged by Councilmember Plummer.
Item 21 needs a motion.
On item 21. Discussion on 21.
Cass Tatum, move.
Second, Robinson.
Been moved and seconded on item 21. Councilmember Plummer.
Tag.
Item 21 has been tagged by Councilmember Plummer.
Item 23 needs a motion.
Cass Tatum, move.
Second, Robinson.
Been moved and seconded on item 23. Discussion on 23. Councilmember Plummer.
I'd like to tag this item too, Mayor. And these are just the co-ops. So,
Item 23 has been tagged by Councilmember Plummer.
Item 25 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 25.
Mayor,
Gotcha.
I'd like to tag this item.
Item 25 has been tagged by Councilmember Kubash.
Item 26 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 26.
Tag, Mayor.
Item 26 has been tagged by Councilmember Kubash.
Item 27 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 27.
Tag, Mayor.
Are you going to tell us why you're tagging all these items, Councilmember Kubash?
No, sir.
I'm sorry?
No, sir.
Didn't want.
Next item.
Item 29 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 29. Discussion on 29. Discussion. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 29. Show Councilmember Jackson voting no.
I'm a no also on that.
Show Councilmember Knox voting no. Item passes.
Item 30 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
On item 30. Discussion on 30. Discussion. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 30.
Item 31 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 31. Discussion on 31. Discussion. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 31.
Item 32 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
On item 32, discussion on 32. Discussion. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 32.
Item 33 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
On item 33, discussion on 33. Discussion. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 33.
Item 35 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
On item 35, discussion on 35. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 35.
Item 38 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 38. Discussion on 38. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Cass Tatum on 38.
Thank you, Mayor. I think we had talked about maybe getting, having some experts to look at our rate for Centerpoint. Are we going to just discuss that at the hearing date, or do we have any of that information prior to the hearing? We had talked about maybe having ARA or look at the rates that Centerpoint is looking to charge and give us some background information on that.
Well, I do know that ARA work with experts in that field. Alton Hall, for example, is the attorney that the city has been utilizing for a number of years on utility matters. And so they consult with Alton Hall. And then he also works with other experts as well. So, yes, the answer is yes.
So when we have the hearing on Wednesday, January 31st, we can expect somebody to give us the background information so we can make the decision about that rate?
I am sure.
Okay.
I mean, I won't be here, but I'm sure that will take.
But I just wanted to say what the expectation was.
Yeah. Yes.
We would hope that
Yes.
we would have an update from
Yes.
someone on this.
Absolutely.
So that we can make a good decision.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, 38 is setting that hearing date. Discussion? Any other discussion? Discussion?
Is confirming that yes, there will be.
Yeah, and they are confirming that there will be experts here.
Thank you.
Okay. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 38.
Item 41 is in order. Just need a vote.
We're on item 41. Discussion on 41. Discussion. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Keshack Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to lift up Tanisha Hudspeth for the work that she did in the elections. I know that we are declaring the official results of the runoff election for this item, but Tanisha Hudspeth did an outstanding job. We got those results in good timing. I think that the people's faith was restored in the process, and the organization was prepared. There was minimal questioning about the process and the election. And really, I just wanted to thank her for her faith and the faith that we have now in our democracy and how this process was run. I know that a lot of people were concerned about if we were going to get those results in good timing, or if people were going to be questioning the results. We had enough paper. We had all the things that people were very concerned about, and all of that was because of her leadership and the work that she did to make sure that we could have faith in our democratic process and our elections in the city of Houston. So congratulations to Tanisha Hudspeth and her entire team and everyone that volunteered to make sure that our elections were fair in the city of Houston.
Thank you. Councilmember Alcorn.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Pro Tem. I will definitely honor those words. There was a good editorial in the paper, in the Chronicle the other day about the election. Congratulations to Tanisha Hudspeth. That was a big job in a short amount of time that she had to be in charge of that. This is the actual canvassing of the election, and I do want to congratulate everyone who won. I will say I have asked the city attorney, the county attorney, and others about questions of residency that have come up. Mayor, this is an issue that I feel strongly about. I feel it's important that every elected official who represents Houstonians have their primary residence be in the city of Houston. And I would just like to make that statement because it disappoints me that I feel, as one of the candidates who has won in the runoff, does not live in the city of Houston. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Robinson.
Mayor, I'd like to pick up on that comment and pursue that with both the county attorney as well as our legal department, and understand if we could get a report about what happens to enforce the consequences of the law, if that is indeed in violation, if there is a candidate who is now the council member-elect, and he is, in this case, established to be a resident outside of the city of Houston, what will we do about it? I'd like that question answered, but if not, it can hang in the air because it is it's a serious matter, and there's enforceability that I'd like to understand what we're going to do about.
Thank you. Please get with the city attorney on that. I'm not in position to speak to it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Alcorn.
Is this a required vote due to the number of days since the election? So there's no delaying this pending further notification from the city attorney?
That's my understanding. Arturo, you want to address that?
That's correct. The election code sets out a timeline. We're up against it in order to canvass the election.
Well, and I'm certainly going to vote in support of this measure, and again, congratulate everyone who ran. And I do think that this is not an issue that I think we just not deal with in the future. So I hope to get some. I have, like I said, I have talked to him. It seems very often the tax law and the, where a homestead exemption is and the election law, sometimes the thresholds are different. It's confusing, it's conflicting, and, I just think it's worthy of taking a deeper dive into and just, something perhaps ethics and council governance can take up. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Okay, any other discussion on 41, which is the canvassing item? In favor? Opposed?
No.
Granted on 41, show Vice Mayor Pro Tem voting no.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem voting no. And I'm obligated, in accordance with the Texas Election Code, I would like to state that, quote, the canvass of the City of Houston runoff election held on December 9, 2023 has been completed, unquote. So I was obligated to read that statement. Next item.
Item 42 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
Well, on item 42, discussion on 42, discussion in favor, opposed, granted on 42.
Item 43 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
Well, on item 43, discussion on 43, in favor, opposed, granted on 43.
Item 40.
Oh, time is expired.
Item 46. Item 46 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
Well, on item 46, discussion on 46, discussion in favor, opposed, granted on 46.
Item 47 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
Well, on item 47, a discussion on 47, discussion on 47, in favor, opposed, granted. Councilman Gallegos, this goes directly to the two speakers that came yesterday. Yes. In the item. Yeah, I was surprised you didn't hit the button.
Sorry, I was busy reading another item here. Well, first of all, I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Carter for coming yesterday with Smith Edition. And again, Mayor, I want to thank you for Woodruff Park. It was a park, small park there in Smith Edition. And again, like it was mentioned yesterday, Smith Edition is in the area of the old Harrisburg settlement, which was founded back in 1826, 10 years before the city of Houston. So it has a lot of old infrastructure. It's been a neighborhood that's it's a neighborhood that's been neglected in regards to the infrastructure and the city of Houston. But I want to thank the Carters for everything that they do. They actually live in another neighborhood, but they were raised there in Smith Edition, and that's why they were here yesterday, speaking on behalf of this. And so again, I want to thank Mayor Turner for the improvements at Woodruff Park. I want to thank Mayor Turner and the Parks Department Director Allen for looking into this expansion of Woodruff Park. Some land came up for sale. We missed out on that opportunity. As you're looking at the park on the right side of the park, we missed that opportunity of buying that property, but the land that came up for sale on the left side of the park, as you're looking to the park, came up for sale. We moved fast and we were able to purchase it. Looking forward to the expansion of Woodruff Park, and I'm sure Councilmember-elect Joaquin Martinez will look at addressing that also. So again, thank you, Council, for your support on this.
Thank you, Councilmember Gallegos. Any additional discussion? Thank you. Next item.
Item 51 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
Oh, on 51. Okay. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Kasich Tatum on 51.
Thank you, Mayor. Very excited about supporting this item, concentrating on illegal dumping and making sure we have dedicated investigators. When we started our illegal dumping and hot team in District K, we had to work with HPD and really do a lot of the legwork on our own. The management district, we have the 12 cameras in the district, and many of you have seen the video that we put out where we caught the people illegal dumping. And then we had a vendor who did work with the city that we caught illegally dumping. I think cameras tell a great story, and for us to have 120 covert cameras across the city to help with this problem of illegal dumping, I really hope that we get copies of the footage of the people who are doing this illegal dumping in our cities, because a lot of it is contractor material. And we need to hold people accountable for dumping in our cities, collecting funds to dispose of this material, and then not taking it to the proper places for disposal. So I'm very excited about us having these cameras and these investigators so we can really work towards alleviating this nuisance in our communities.
Thank you. And thank you for your leadership in this area. Councilmember Thomas?
Thank you so much. I support this item, and our District F hotspot team they have their hands full. Just two quick questions. So with the 120 cameras, how will the additional 6 investigators interface with the hot team and then the dashboard that solid waste already manages to collect data on illegal dumping spots? And will there be a two-way communication,
Yes.
or this is just the output of information?
No, it's just going to be two-way.
Okay, and so we'll be able to engage with the investigators as well?
That's correct.
To couple what we're already doing with our hot team?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I want to emphasize, remember we came forth with One Clean Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And we've invested over a 3-year period $18 million into One Clean Houston to deal with illegal dumping. I just want to emphasize that as some of us segue off. These 120 covert cameras will go a long way. The 6 additional persons will go a long way. In addition to the contractors that are out there working, all under the auspices of One Clean Houston. So, but again, what we're doing here has to be augmented by the change in culture, the mindset of people just dumping too. But I think this will have significant improvement. So let me thank all of you for working on this area, and Vice Mayor Pro Tem Castigate, let me thank you for your leadership, especially. Okay. Any other discussion? In favor? Opposed? Granted on 51.
Item 52 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 52. Discussion on 52. Discussion on 52. In favor?
Go ahead.
In favor? Opposed? Granted on 52.
Item 55 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 55. Discussion on 55. Discussion on 55. In favor? Opposed? Granted. These are 2 applications for grant funding, I think totaling somewhere close to $90 million. This is a huge item. Of course, with that, the Gulfton catchment area is one, and then the NHHIP, the I-45 project. But these are 2. This is a big application, that grant application that we are seeking. So this is huge. Hopefully, we will get it, and it will go a long way to benefiting our city. So keep our fingers crossed. Next item.
Item 66 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 66. Discussion on 66. Discussion. In favor?
Opposed?
No. I'm a discussion.
Okay. Councilmember Thomas on 66.
Thank you. Just clarifying language. So in addition to removing the sunset, we're also extending the timeline?
Just removing the sunset.
Just removing the sunset. Funds will continue to stay in the restricted account.
That is correct. That's the only thing we're doing.
That's it.
Councilmember Knox.
Thank you, Mayor. So this item is not really due for sunset until May of next year. And so the administration here has put this on ahead of time to, I guess, do the incoming administration a favor. I was opposed to this originally because it's like the rain tax. It's a fee, but it's still a tax. This particular item is part of our tax base. It's part of the property taxes that you pay, the provision of solid waste material, or the removal of solid waste material. So I'm opposed to this fee because we don't allow the citizens to opt into purchasing the can for themselves and then replacing it at their own expense later on when they need it, or leasing it from us. We give them no option, and I'm opposed to the government doing those sorts of things. So I'm voting no on this one.
Councilmember Gangos.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm proud that I was able. I'm proud that I was able to submit an amendment in regards to the lease of the garbage cans and the recycling bins. I mean, if you do your research, council members, in regards to the expense that solid waste has to go to deliver a garbage can or a recycling bin to developers or people that are asking for new garbage cans and recycling bins, that's an expense that solid waste is having to eat. In regards to many of our constituents, and I know I have received many calls in my office from constituents that are upset that their trash is not being picked up on a timely manner. They're used to, if their trash is supposed to be picked up on a Wednesday, they expect the trash to be picked up on a Wednesday. Otherwise, they're calling on Thursday. And that's because our equipment has aged, our equipment is breaking down. Our solid waste drivers are being hired by the private sector. And we need fees like this in order to sustain our solid waste department. And that's why it's important in regards to the lease for our recycling bin and our garbage bin. It's something that adds up to where we can maybe buy an extra garbage truck that's desperately needed by the solid waste department. They're doing an outstanding job with the resources that they have. And this is just another way that they're able to sustain their operations, especially in times like this when the city is needing more revenue. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Alcorn.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your words, Councilmember Gallegos. I mean, we can dance all around this all we want. This is an ongoing problem at the City of Houston that we're going to have to address. So this $4.7 million is important for the City of Houston. And so I'll be supporting this. One thing I did want to bring up, Mayor, I've been asked by some people about getting more than one recycle bin, which other cities do. I'm all for that. Like I say with the composting stuff, having less trash in that black bin is where we want to go. So I think that I've been told that could possibly be an administrative change. I don't think there's a jillion people that want to do it. I don't think it's going to be a huge, they're going to pay for it. But I do think we should be able to offer that.
If I were around, I would do it.
Thank you.
Because, there are people out there who would like more than one. Okay, any other discussion on 66? In favor? Opposed? Show Councilmember Knox voting no. Show Councilman Huffman voting no. Show Councilman Peck voting no. Thank you. The item passes. Thank you. Peck, Huffman, and Knox. Okay. Item carries. Next item.
Item 67 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 67. Discussion on 67. Discussion on 67. In favor? Opposed? Granted.
No.
On 67. Show Mayor Pro Tem Martin voting no.
We went from $2 million to $5 million.
Item 68 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
We're on item 60. We're on item 68. Discussion on 68. Discussion on 68. In favor? Opposed?
Huffman, no.
Opposed. Granted. Show Huffman, Knox, Martin, Kubosh, and Peck voting no to Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle all the way.
Power no.
The item passes. Silent night. Okay. You think I did? Stay away from the singing?
I'm Jackson.
Popular.
Okay, good deal. Way to go, Ed.
And
after that, it has passed.
It has passed. Oh, well,
are you joining me in a solo?
I'm not joining you in a solo, but I do want to shout out one of the vendors, Alex Navarro Music. Many of you enjoyed his music and his team at the opening of the A-Leaf Neighborhood Center. His mom is still a resident in District F, so shout out to him for having an opportunity to display his talent in the Houston airport system. Thank you.
Thank you so very, very much. Okay. Councilmember Cisneros.
Thank you. I just wanted to add that I'm glad this passed, and it's this program employs some of our leading local professional musicians and major orchestras and leading premier jazz musicians in making a very strong and world-class impression on our visitors. Thank you.
And it really does. I mean, people go through the airports, it's very soothing, refreshing, and it has added to our 5-star, 4-star status. So, but I know the people that voted no. I didn't put carrots, but I know that when y'all voted no, y'all didn't really mean it. We're gonna leave the vote open though, in case you change your mind and want to get with the spirit, holiday spirit. Councilmember Evan Shabazz for a rendition.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to make a note that Councilmember Pollard didn't vote no till you started singing.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 69 is in order. Just need a vote.
We're on item 69. Councilman Plummer on 69.
Thank you, Mayor Turner. And I need to have a couple conversations still on this item. I sent some questions back in with September. Still haven't received any new questions. Those community questions that were sent to the health department regarding this. Still need more information. So I'd like to tag this item just to give me an opportunity to have a couple more meetings. Thank you.
Okay. Item 69 has been tagged by Councilmember Plummer. Councilman Plummer, the record shown, were you here on the 13th? If you were here on the 13th, then you cannot tag it.
Okay, I don't remember, but if that's the case,
Let's check.
last week. No, I wasn't here last week. No, I had the flu. Yeah, I had the flu. I wasn't here last week.
The week before. This is
the 6th.
It came up. And it came up the second time, and you tagged it. It came
6th.
That's correct. That's
It
what
was
I'm saying.
on the 6th. You cannot tag. I really don't care.
Okay, item is tagged by Councilman Plummer. Next item.
Would you repeat
70.
that?
69 is tagged by Plummer. Next item.
Item 70 is in order. Just need a vote.
We're on item 70. Discussion on 70. Councilman Plummer.
Tag.
Item 71 is in order.
1 second. Item 70 is tagged by Plummer. On 71, there's an amendment on 71.
Yes.
And the amendment is on their table.
Are you tagging?
So the discussion is on the amendment which the administration accepts. The administration will accept the amendment. So the discussion is on the amendment. Councilmember Knox on the amendment. Oh, let me just, since it's the amendment, Vice Mayor Pro Tem, you want to lay out your amendment?
I do. Mayor, for item 71, Council, it was brought to my attention in our briefing that these 4 agreements that we have that are revenue agreements, these are the only 4 agreements that have a clause in them that states they can be terminated for convenience. And the questions that I've asked to City Legal and to the director of the airport is, if these are the only 4 agreements that have this termination clause, how is that fair? And I don't feel like this is fair for these 4 agreements to be the only revenue agreements that have a clause in it that says that they can be terminated for convenience. I know that our goods and services contracts, this is standard in those contracts, but these are the only 4 contracts in our revenue contracts that have a clause that say they can be terminated for convenience. Currently in these revenue agreements, there is a termination clause for cause, and that's in everyone's agreement. And I think it's only fair that the agreements be consistent across the board. If I had an agreement at the airport, I would want my agreement to be like everyone else's agreement at the airport. I don't think that I'm not exactly sure why these 4 contracts have a termination for convenience. If it was an administrative error, we were going in a different direction. But I think that it is prudent upon us to correct this. And every revenue contract should read the same. So my amendment is to terminate for convenience on all 4 of the said revenue agreements that are listed to make sure that all of our revenue contracts are consistent across our airport system.
Mayor, point of parliamentary procedure real quick. Does the record reflect that on December 6th, Councilmember Plummer was absent? I know she was absent on the 13th, but was she also absent on the 6th? And the reason why I ask that, if she was not absent on the 6th, then 69 and 70 have to come to this body.
We're checking.
Okay.
On that.
And it's pertinent to 71 if it's indeed, Councilmember Plummer does have a tag in mind. I don't want to sit here and discuss it. Okay.
Okay. All right, we're on 71 as amended. Vice Mayor Pro Tem has put forth an amendment. It's an amendment that the administration does accept. We are now to Councilmember Knox.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to oppose this amendment because, first of all, this is not the only contract that the Houston Airport has ever had with a convenience clause in it. In fact, the previous vendors, the Pappas family, had one on theirs, and before them, United Airlines, their vendors, have the same thing. This particular amendment is actually damaging to the city because, as I recall, we have these contracts negotiated before they're brought to council, and as I recall, we have a standing practice of not engaging in negotiations of contract around the horseshoe. This contract has already been approved by council and signed by the parties, and they've agreed to it. This amendment surrenders the right of the city to close a contract for convenience. What are we getting in return? What is the vendor giving up in return for us to remove this? By doing this, the city basically gives up its rights as landlord. And I think this amendment is a bad idea on many levels. It serves no useful purpose for the citizens of Houston. It, in fact, hampers our ability to administer, or for the department director to administer, these contracts. Because a threat of cancellation by convenience is a motivator for the vendors to perform well. And by removing that, we remove that stick, if you will, if we ever have to use it. Furthermore, at some point in the city's future, some better deal may come along that would benefit us and would, cover the cost of whatever lawsuit that was involved and would still benefit the city of Houston at a greater degree. So I'm opposed to this particular amendment for those reasons. I just think that's a bad idea. Let me see. I've got some notes here. Oh, yeah. So it was negotiated through regular procedure, approved by council, signed by the parties. It was agreed to. We're renegotiating the terms and conditions. Perhaps the attorney can advise us how this is not a renegotiation of term or condition, because that is in there, terms and conditions. The history of not negotiating contracts on the horseshoe. All these are important things that we need to be considering. So I'll be voting no, and I would encourage my colleagues to vote no on this amendment as well.
It's always important to make sure that you do not put the city in a litigious situation. These are 10-year deals. Let me address a couple of things, Councilmember Knox, that you misstated. This is a revenue contract. And when it comes to convenience, that is not in the other revenue contracts dealing here. It's only termination for cause. And you are bringing up a particular vendor. Now, it begs the question why a particular vendor's name keeps coming up. Because right now, the people that have the contract have the contract for 10 years. So why are people bringing up a particular vendor as if a contract is terminated? This vendor, in this case Papa's, is going to receive it.
But we don't know that.
I didn't interrupt you. And that begs some interesting questions. I want you to think about this now. The people who are at the airport now have a contract for 10 years. The only people who are objecting to what we're doing here are speaking for one vendor, Papa's, as if this contract is going to be terminated for convenience and Papa's is going to be given the contract, which would be in violation of our procurement rules. Be very careful here. Be very careful. And let's make sure that there are no conflicts around this table. Be very careful. Let me say this, number two. You do not want to put the city in a litigious situation where the city will be out of its pockets for millions. And that is what will happen here. This simply, as Vice Mayor Pro Tem Cassidy Tatum has said, puts everything the same. What is before you without the amendment simply says the council must then ratify if the director should terminate for convenience. Now, quite frankly, from the administration point of view, I thought council would like that. I thought council would like that. Because for 8 years, what I've heard, council wanted more say. Mm-hmm. So I personally thought, as the mayor, that council would prefer to look at something when a major contract was being terminated. And quite frankly, I thought that the outside world, media included, would want that transparency. Because what I keep hearing from people using the buzzword, transparency, transparency, transparency. And then when you offer transparency, certain people don't want it anymore. And I was getting feedback that maybe council didn't want to have the final say, which begs, I mean, why wouldn't you want it? But having said all of that, if council doesn't want it, no problem. No problem. But put this particular contract on par with the others. Termination for cause. That's what the Vice Mayor Pro Tem is offering. I looked at it and said, look, I'm not, from an administration point of view, I'm not going to try to impose to have council have the final say if council doesn't want it.
Well, Mayor, let me clarify. It's not that council didn't want it. What I'm looking for is fairness. I want everyone's contract to be the same. And if we decide that council wants to go in a different direction where those contracts do come to council, then it should be on everybody's contract. So what I'm asking for is fairness.
And I'm good with
Whatever
that.
we do, let it be done for every revenue contract in the city.
And my motivation for bringing the initial item before you was the fairness item and the transparency item. So I'm with you 100%. Either the amendment before that you have presented, I 100% support. And it is fairness. It is fairness. But let me just say, as we have this discussion, let me caution everyone not to be talking about a particular vendor as if that vendor is going to be the recipient if a contract is terminated. Because if the concession is let go, the whole universe has the right to apply. So you can't talk about a particular vendor around this table. You can't do that. Well, you shouldn't do it. Let me put it that way. But I think in terms of fairness, Vice Mayor Pro Tem, I support the amendment. I think it is fair, and I do believe that it keeps us out of litigation. And Arturo, if you want to address any of this, certainly feel free, and then we'll proceed with the people in the queue.
Well, the only thing that I would address, I guess at this point in time, is that the Vice Mayor Pro Tem is correct that we have several contracts, goods and services, in which there is a termination for convenience clause. The airport concession contracts, the prior generation of contracts, some are still in existence and others have expired, and the four here have replaced those. All of those, the prior generation, had no termination for convenience clause. You could only terminate for cause. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Maricoin.
Thank you, Mayor. And I asked several questions about this item, and then after seeing the amendment, because I was definitely getting some conflicting information, I asked, so inserting the city council authority was told, well, these four contracts have a convenience clause, so we have to have city council involved in that. Okay, so I asked, why do just these four contracts have a convenience clause? And I was told by the city attorney that there was a duty-free company that did not have one, that they wished would have had one. I think it was a mutual situation. And so the new policy was to put in a convenience contract. And I asked, so that is the future. I know this is short-time administration, but that is the position of the administration, that if there were more revenue contracts coming, more concession contracts coming, that there would be a convenience clause. And the answer was yes. So this seems like a reversal of that. And pardon me, and I have great respect for the city attorney, and pardon me if I misconstrued what was said.
But that is not correct. I am the administration.
Okay.
And I never agreed to that.
Okay.
So let's be very clear. There is no reversal. There was no reversal, because quite frankly, when I found that the convenience was in there, I objected to that. So there has never been an agreement by the administration.
Were you aware that the convenience was in it
No, I was not.
when we did it?
I was not. I was not. And if I had known, I would have said no. I was not.
Okay. Well, just when we do our due diligence in these matters, Mayor, and I do, I ask questions of everybody. So when I saw the amendment, I was confused, because maybe if the rationale was to have city council involved because it was a convenient, I mean, I ultimately think it's an administrative duty, but perhaps there's a little logic in, well, city council should be involved if there is a convenience clause, perhaps. But then when I was, what I'll say now is, if no contract is going to have a convenience clause, no revenue contract is going to have a convenience clause, then to be fair and consistent, you have to go in and put city council involvement in
everybody.
every last one. So anyway, I think this is a matter for more discussion. I asked questions about all 4 of these revenue contracts, not mentioning another vendor. I asked questions, and I asked a lot of questions the first go round on this thing. And these are tricky. There's a lot of moving parts in these. I asked, has a director ever pulled back? In the last 20 years, has a director ever come in and pulled back one of these concessions? And the answer was no. Directors don't just go in there willy-nilly and pull back contracts. I mean, that's not something that happens. Anyway, I won't be supporting it. Great respect for Vice Mayor Pro Tem and understand her argument, but for these reasons, I won't be supporting this amendment.
Councilman Pollard.
Thank you, Mayor. I looked at this closely as well. I actually, when I saw it the first time, I was happy to see that it was coming back to council because as an elected leader, I want to have as much say-so in the process as possible. The directors can come and go. And so for them to be able to be the sole, for them to be able to have the sole discretion over if a contract stays or not that we all approve in the first place, I was glad to see the initial language. When the Vice Mayor Pro Tem brought forth her language, I thought it made it even better because I had a conversation with Councilmember Knox last week about the difference between administrative and legislative powers, right? Well, this takes out the administrative because now it stays in the hands of the director. They only can terminate for cause. So it never comes back to this body. That's a moot point now. When you have a convenience clause in any contract, especially ones that we approve, and then we don't have, and then there is one person, maybe under the direction of the mayor, that can make a decision for convenience, that's broad. That's extremely broad. When you have it for cause, at least you have to put forth some basis for it, which gives us protection, has much more transparency, and is fair all around. The other matter is if the past contracts, some that are expired and some that are still ongoing, that are revenue contracts, don't have this language, then it should be standard across the board. And I think as a body going forward, if we see something that doesn't make a lot of sense, which this convenience clause does not make sense, and we have the opportunity as a body to change it, I mean, that's what we're elected for. So I think this amendment is strong. I think it actually makes the item better. It takes us out of the issue of is it administrative versus legislative and keeps it in the hands of the director. But it also ensures that the director can't just for any reason under their own sole discretion for convenience be able to terminate contracts that are hard to get, and we put a lot of work as a body looking into them to ensure that good vendors get them. So I applaud you on your due diligence on this. Yes, I would like everything to come back to council and we can vote on it so we have the final say, but I can understand why you think this is necessary so that it does take away the issue of the administrative versus legislative. And I commend you on going into the details, having real briefings with all of the stakeholders involved to come with the language.
Thank you. And bear in mind, the conversation is on Vice Mayor Pro Tem's amendment. Councilmember Huffman.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, I think, this council, this body, we are supposed to be good stewards of the city. And so, eliminating the convenience termination language, that's already been agreed upon, it weakens the rights of the city in favor of giving rights to the vendor. So this only benefits the vendor. This doesn't benefit the city. And so the city would be giving away those rights. And respectfully, I'd like to tag the amendment.
Can I tag the amendment?
Are you ruling it out of order?
I am ruling it out of order.
I'd like to challenge the chair on that.
How can she tag it?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. If you tag the amendment, you tag the main item. The main item is not taggable. So I am ruling your amendment out of order. You may challenge the chair, and on what basis are you challenging the chair?
Microphone.
The basis is that this is a new item added to at the very end of the day, and I don't believe that it is part of the main. I think we can tag the item and then take on the main agenda, and then the amendment becomes moot at that point. But that's the risk you take when you put in an amendment at the last minute.
Let me just say
The
this.
amendment was given out
hold on.
last week.
The amendment was on the table last week. When you tagged
it.
You tagged the item, and the item was tagged along with the amendment, Councilmember.
But Mayor, the amendment wasn't officially proffered until it was announced. It was not announced. I tagged the item, and the amendment wasn't talked about. So it wasn't offered on last week. It was offered today.
You're challenging the ruling of the chair.
Right.
The vote, if you vote yes, then you're voting to override the chair, and we're prepared to vote. Call them. Roll call vote. A vote yes is to override the chair.
What?
A vote yes is to override. A vote no is not to override the chair. No.
Councilmember Peck?
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson? No. Councilmember Evans Shabazz?
No.
No.
Councilmember Martin?
No.
Councilmember Thomas? No. Councilmember Huffman?
Yes.
Councilmember Cisneros?
No.
Councilmember Gallegos?
Yes.
Councilmember Pollard?
No.
Councilmember Castex Tatum?
No.
Councilmember Knox?
Yes.
Councilmember Robinson?
No.
Councilmember Kubash?
Yes.
Councilmember Plummer? Yes. Councilmember Alcorn?
Yes.
The motion fails. The motion to override the chair fails. Motion to override the chair fails. 9-7. Or 7-9, I should say. Okay. Now we're back on the amendment. We're back on the amendment. Chair recognizes Councilman Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I just want to say, as a council member representing the Hobby Airport, no one from the airport system even reached out to me on this item. And on the 10 years of being in office here, I don't recall going back on a contract and trying to renegotiate here at the Horseshoe. I'm not comfortable doing that, knowing that I am leaving office on my last day of city council, and I am looking at trying to renegotiate something that was negotiated in good faith and came to city council, and we approved it. And I really don't understand or see how, if this would pass, and let's say the new administration comes in and wants to change things, how is that going to prevent city council from saying, no, we're not going to do that? I mean, that's the time the city council should be speaking up and saying, no, Mayor, we're not going to do this. Or, yes, Mayor, we are going to do this. But we don't do that on our last day on council. That is not right. That is not right. And I will not support the amendment, and I will not support this item because, again, it is my last day, and I will not do that.
And Councilmember Gallegos, this item has been on the agenda for 3 weeks. It has been tagged by Councilmember Kubash, it's been tagged by Councilmember Knox, and it's led us up to this day. So this item has been on the agenda for 3 weeks. Okay? And quite frankly, it is in the interest of transparency. And let us be very clear. People have made it clear what they intend to be in terms of this matter. So let's all be very clear. Let's be very since people use the word transparency, Councilmember Kubash, I've heard you say it over and over again. Transparency, transparency, transparency. Okay? And what I would say, whether or not anybody has received any contributions. Okay? Let me be very clear, because I've dealt with this from me and everybody else. So let's be very clear around this table. Has anybody received any contributions from anybody who stands to profit if this contract is terminated? Okay? So let's come on, let's not.
After the vote.
Councilmember Cisneros.
Thank you, Mayor. I was pleased with your original agenda item, and even as you began to speak today, talking about it was about transparency. I was supportive of that, and that. But of course, then when we are hearing that the amendment focuses more on fairness, is that at the expense of transparency? Do you believe? Can you assure me that we're still transparent as possible?
We are still transparent because in order for any concession or revenue generating contract to be terminated, it must be for cause, which means you have to demonstrate why you are terminating, and not just all of a sudden the director decide, I don't want you anymore, and gone. So at least when you have to terminate, when you're dealing with these long-term contracts, in this case, Councilmember Cisneros, and they are 10-year contracts, and people are making investments, if they are to be terminated, they should be terminated for cause, not just because all of a sudden you wake up one day and decide, I don't want you anymore. So that brings about a level of transparency, because you have to establish your rationale. Okay? So that's where we are, and that's...
Because clearly transparency and fairness are both equally important.
That is correct. Councilmember Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I actually don't think that the amendment goes far enough. I actually like the original item because, for example, I learned of Public Works canceling water contracts on the news. Right? And I just think that when we're moving this type of money across council, at some point there should be a baseline where it returns when contracts no longer serve the city. I think that's something that we should be involved in. And we can interpret in legislative and administrative, but then we also have to look at what's right for Houstonians. And I think there's a financial implication that's not being talked about if a contract in the airport is closed. I just want us to be mindful about when we talk about transparency, and then we talk about the ability for us not to do some things. Prop 8 now allows for council members to put things on the agenda, but this actually serves as a precedent moving forward to offer Houstonians and ourselves more ability in the process. So I want to support your amendment, of course, but I would have loved to have it in the original item so council members have the opportunity to then investigate again what consistently serves Houstonians. So I hope we don't belabor this item any too much longer. Thank you much.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Kubash.
Mayor, if this were to pass, will the contract have to be re-executed by the parties involved?
Turo, you want to address that?
You typically do have new signatures by both parties.
And if that were to happen, would it have to come back to council after it's been re-executed to be voted on again?
No, the action to approve the amendment would accomplish the council action.
And I've been on council for 10 years. I've never heard of a contract be terminated for cause. Maybe one contract out at the airport back during the Parker administration. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of curious. Mayor, when I heard that you said that you just learned of this, and I mean, this happened back in March. I mean, you're a lawyer. I'm sure you would have read the contract and you'd have seen that in there. And then for you to say you'd never seen it and you just learned of it, and then 8 months later we bring this up. Who saw this and decided, oh, I'm going to bring? I mean, I'm surely you're not sitting around Thanksgiving and reading these old contracts.
I don't read every contract that we approve, council member. I wish I had that type of time, but I don't.
You got that kind of education, I guarantee you.
Well, the education is true, but when it's brought to my attention, I do attempt to try to rectify it.
Who brought it to your attention? Where did the attention come from?
What I can say to you is that there has been no, let me get that statement. No contract with this termination for convenience, Councilmember Kubosh. The contract that we are talking about is inconsistent. The prior generation of the Houston area, Houston Airport System concession contracts, some still in existence, and the expired ones, example, Papa's, has no terminate for convenience clauses, only for cause.
So that
includes Papa's.
So that'll still be in there. People could be
for cause.
For cause.
Yes, sir.
But that's pretty broad too.
Well, but it makes it what the Vice Mayor Pro Tem amendment does. It makes it consistent with all of the others.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to reiterate the importance of fairness. We talk about fairness around this horseshoe. If I had a contract, a revenue contract at the airport, and this body did something different on my contract, I would be concerned. I want to ask the city attorney, I have done some additional due diligence because I wanted to make sure that my amendment does exactly that, create fairness. Every revenue contract that we have at the airport does not have a termination clause for convenience. These are the only 4 contracts that we currently have in the city of Houston at the airport that are revenue contracts. Councilmember Thomas, the goods and services contracts have termination clauses for convenience and for cause. So the water issue is different. That's a goods and service contract. This is a revenue contract. No other revenue contract in the city of Houston has a termination clause for convenience besides these 4. And the amendment is for fairness. If we want to have a termination for convenience we need to do it for all of them. I think we need to be fair. So my amendment is to take that out. Can you confirm that all of the revenue contracts in the city of Houston do not have a termination clause for convenience?
That is what I asked the lawyers who work with these contracts in the airport. These are the only, the 4 are the only ones that have a termination for convenience clause. You may recall in 21, a non-airport contract, the kiosk contract, that had only a termination for cause provision. It had no termination for convenience. That is also a revenue contract.
I asked the legal department to pull a couple of contracts. I looked at those. They did not have the termination clause for convenience. I called someone that I know has a revenue contract, and their contract did not have a termination clause for convenience. So I did some spot checking just to be sure that no other contract had a termination clause for convenience. And these are the only 4 contracts that I'm being told have a termination clause for convenience. If you think that it's fair that these 4 contracts are the only ones that should have the termination clause for convenience, why is that so? Why should these 4 contracts be the only one with a termination clause for convenience? If that's what we want to do as a body or the next administration, we need to do it for everyone, not just for these 4 people.
Councilman Perry.
Thank you, Mayor. If I recall correctly, the city used to not do any of the convenience clauses in the contracts. And the reason why we started doing that was because after the red light cameras, when the city voted to stop that, the city was still on the hook for paying the contractor for that money. So the city moved towards the convenience clauses in most of the contracts that we pass now.
Goods and services, not revenue.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that in general,
it's not the same.
most of the contracts that we do now have that convenience clause because there's concerns about how the city might be on the hook financially, whether it's a revenue or we're spending money. It still is. There was some concern about how the city might be on the hook, and so whether it's a revenue contract or not, I think that there should be some kind of provision that we can get out of it. Not just for any particular contractor, just in good governance, how we need to get out of something should circumstances change.
Termination for cause.
And so
allows
that's
us to get
why
out.
I would like to see that in every contract still. There's some way of getting out so that the city would not be on the hook financially.
Councilmember Pollard.
Thank you, Mayor. I think it would be great to have a convenience for council clause, but to have a convenience clause for the director that we don't have any real communication with when it comes to whether they can do something or not. As a body, we should want to have more safeguards in place. For a director that's not elected to be able to, for convenience, cancel a revenue contracts that we depend on for services, I think is lazy on our parts to go that way. If we want to be truly accountable and we want to have checks and balances, then you have a termination for a cause, for a reason that you can give some type of meritorious argument on why. Convenience is too discretionary, and it's too discretionary for one person to have all of that authority. So, yeah, if we can have a convenience clause for council, I'll be all fine with that. But to give a convenience clause for the director, no. We work too hard as a body to approve these contracts to then let a single person be able to say, oh, for convenience, with a 30-day written notice, it all goes away. We owe ourselves more than that. We owe the public more than that, and that's why I think her amendment is strong.
Councilmember Knox.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things. First of all, I don't think any of us really know what the next administration is going to do or not do. That's the first thing. The second thing is you've made an argument about transparency. Well, this amendment, this whole item, I believe, is designed to protect vendors from the incoming administration for some reason. Now, I don't have any insight into what's going on over there, but I do know it's awful strange. As far as giving council power, you've had 8 years of opportunities to give us this sort of power. You've had 8 years. We've had a number of discussions around this table regarding bad actor contractors and bad actor vendors. And we've never, ever had the opportunity to have any input. What we get told is, well, you know, we'll have to look into that in the future and, you know, maybe something else will happen. Now, all of a sudden, on the last 3 weeks, of our administration, we're going to change that. I just, to be honest with you, I think this is an attempt on the part of this administration to hamstring the next administration regarding the airport contracts on this particular issue, not naming any vendors, but the fact of the matter remains, this is it's blatant attempt, as far as I'm concerned, to hamstring the next administration in doing their business. We have to trust. Look, Mayor Turner, when you came into office, if somebody had done this to you, you'd have been all over the news.
No.
Well,
no, sir.
I'm not done yet.
No. But don't try to pull me into your arguments and throw it on me, Councilmember Knox. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, I'll retract that statement.
Yeah, please.
But nevertheless, the only purpose for this is to protect the vendors currently that have won the contract. I trust the next administration is going to do what's best interest of the city of Houston. And to intervene with that in the last minutes of our tenure here, I believe is inappropriate and unwise and setting a bad precedent for bad public policy. And so I will continue to disagree with this amendment and the item.
Councilmember Huffman. Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. It was insinuated that our vote is because of a possible campaign contribution. I've been on city council for 10 years, and I have taken pride as a council member representing my district. I'm going to have pride leaving this chamber with my head up high, knowing I do not have a blemish on my record. And I don't appreciate being insinuating that my vote is because of a campaign contribution, because I can assure you it is not. My vote today is because I'm doing the right thing. We don't renegotiate a contract here at the chamber on the last day of council. That should be left up to the new administration and the new council. So again, I leave today with my head up high, not because I was given a campaign contribution.
Councilmember Alcoin.
Thank you, Mayor. And I agree with Councilmember Huffman, and I do feel like removing, I'm not a lawyer, she is, but I do feel like when you remove a convenience clause, that is kind of weakening our position. I also want to ask the city attorney, and I appreciate Vice Mayor Pro Tem's fairness, looking at the contracts. That's why I asked a lot of questions about the convenience and for cause clauses. And are there the revenue contracts at the airport, not these 4, are there others that are just for cause that now will be not the same as these because those won't have the city council interjected into them? See, I mean, I understand that these are the only 4 convenience clause, but we are going to now have them come back for city council approval.
No.
Are there other? No, well, for not approval, but we're putting the actual item.
No.
Inject city council.
No. The amendment changes.
Amendment.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
the amendment just makes everybody fair.
I'm following you now. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Plummer.
Thank you, Mayor. May I ask the city attorney a question?
Sure.
Wait. City attorney, we have completely muddied this whole item in my mind. I mean, we've really made it personal in many ways. And my question is, and I'm not saying I'm going to, but if I were to tag the amendment, would this give us an opportunity, would this change the agreements or the original contract with Latrell's and with areas? But what I don't want to, I'm trying to divide the issue and just focus on what we're dealing with. I'm concerned about the onus that we have as council from an administrative and a legislative perspective. That's what I'm concerned about. So if I tagged the amendment,
yes,
would that, I don't want to change the vendors. Does the contract still stay the same?
It would be the original contract.
Be the original contract.
If it were tagged, yes.
Okay. And then we could, in the new administration, we can come back and have a conversation about how it is fair and transparent, or no?
I think the new administration could address it in a number of ways, including that, whether amended or not.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Councilmember Kubash.
Mayor, my esteemed colleague, Councilmember Pollard, who I highly respect, he keeps talking about giving the director all this power. Well, this power that you're talking about isn't in the hands of the director. It's in the hands of the mayor. And no director is going to do anything that he's not directed to do by the mayor in any department, in any mayor's office, prior or in the future. So since it is the mayor, it's not the director. It would be the mayor who tells the director or agrees with the director to do it. So remember, we're talking about the mayor. We're not talking about the director having the power to terminate it. Even though it says that, it comes from the power and emanates from the mayor.
Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I've been listening to this conversation, and the bottom line on this is on January 2nd, non-council members that are sitting here today could be here dealing with this. So if you deal with this and the airport director decides to terminate for convenience, you will be responsible for millions of dollars in unamortized investment costs that have been paid since March of these companies in the airport, because you will be sued and you will owe them millions of dollars for their investment costs. That's in the contract. So none of you are going to have to deal with that. I won't have to deal with it. So are you okay with the airport director having the ability to do that? If you are, vote no. If you aren't, then you have to vote yes. So for the last 11 years I've been here, longer than anybody sitting around here, I've listened to arguments about strong mayoral form of governance. I listened to criticism about the mayor calling himself the CEO. And I've been listening to the argument. I was part of 3 council members that couldn't get an agenda item on the agenda. Myself, Stardig, and Bradford. Couldn't do it. Now we have the ability to do that. Why? Because council wanted more power in decision makings. So if you were okay with allowing the airport director to cancel a 10-year contract for convenience, you approved the contract in March. So you are now okay with the termination of a contract you approved in March without you having any say-so whatsoever on that decision. That blows me away, because I've been listening to you people talk about that for 11 years. Your approval, you could approve a contract in March, but now you're okay with having no determination in the termination of said contract. Tell me where I'm wrong. No, let's face it, this is all about the vote we took in March that determined the vendor that we have today are Papa's. Let's be open and transparent, because that's what this is about. Because the votes will fall along those lines. It's my last meeting. I can say whatever the heck I want to say. That's a fact. Watch and see, and then go back to the March votes and see what happens. But I'm amazed at your allowing more power to be put in a director's hands or a mayor's hands when you've been screaming for power and to do more with that power, like we did when we went to the voters and approved 3 council members putting items on the agenda. I'm amazed. Merry Christmas.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem Kasich Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a couple questions for the city attorney. I don't think there's a secret that there's litigation between one of the vendors against the 4 contracts or the city. If we change the contract to take out the clause termination for convenience, does that have any impact on any pending litigation?
It may have some impact, but it'll be brought into the lawsuit. I'm not sure it'll affect the merits at the end of the day.
Okay. So if we vote for all contracts to be fair by taking out the termination clause, is there anything that prevents the next administration from saying, I want to go in another direction and I want contracts moving forward to all have a termination clause and a clause for cause?
The next administration can bring forth whatever contracts, termination clauses that it would prefer.
So, but today, there are no other revenue contracts at the airport that have a termination clause for convenience.
None other than the 4 that are subject to this agenda item.
So why would we want, well, never mind. Thank you.
Ready to vote? All in favor of the amendment, please vote by saying aye. Madam Secretary, call the roll. Yes for the amendment, no, not for the amendment.
Mayor Turner,
Yes.
Councilmember Peck,
No.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans Shabazz,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Thomas,
Yes.
Councilmember Huffman,
No.
Councilmember Cisneros,
Yes.
Councilmember Gallegos,
No.
Councilmember Pollard,
Yes.
Councilmember Castex Tatum,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
No.
Councilmember Robinson,
Yes.
Councilmember Kubosh,
No.
Councilmember Plummer, Councilmember Alcorn.
No.
By a vote of 9 to 7, the amendment
Point
passes.
is made.
Yeah, 9-7.
9 to 7, amendment passes. Now we're on the item as amended. Please call the roll.
We haven't discussed the item yet.
We're on the item as amended. Councilmember Knox.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to refer this item back to the administration pending a legal opinion from our city, a written legal opinion from our city attorney, and so that the next council can make an informed decision about the impact or lack thereof regarding the change in this wording that we've just added to this contract.
Been moved in second. Please call the roll and vote. If you vote no, it's to not to send it back. If you vote yes, it is to send it back. Okay? No is not. If you vote for it, for the motion, it is to send it back. No is not to send it back. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mayor Turner,
No.
Councilmember Peck,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson, Councilmember Evans Shabazz,
No.
Councilmember Martin,
No.
Councilmember Thomas, Councilmember Huffman,
Yes.
Councilmember Cisneros,
No.
Councilmember Gallegos,
Yes.
Councilmember Pollard,
No.
Councilmember Castex Tatum,
No.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Robinson,
No.
Councilmember Kubosh,
Yes.
Councilmember Plummer, Councilmember Alcorn.
Yes.
Vote of 9 to 7 to 9, the motion fails. Now we're on the item as amended. Madam Secretary, please call the roll. Item as amended. Call the roll.
Mayor Turner,
Yes.
Councilmember Peck,
No.
Councilmember Jackson, Councilmember Evans Shabazz,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Thomas, Councilmember Huffman,
No.
Councilmember Cisneros,
Yes.
Councilmember Gallegos,
No.
Councilmember Pollard,
Yes.
Councilmember Castex Tatum,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
No.
Councilmember Robinson,
Yes.
Councilmember Kubosh,
No.
Councilmember Plummer, Councilmember Alcorn.
No.
But it carries 9 to 7. Thank you. Next item on the agenda. And first, 1 second. Is there a motion to go past that?
Move Robinson.
Been moved and second to go back to any objection here is now granted. Now please call the final item.
Okay, hold on. Castex Tatum and Robinson. Okay. Item 72 is an ordinance. Just need a vote.
On item 72, Councilmember Knox.
Thank you, Mayor. I like the idea of this, but I'm concerned that there's no funding source for this LGC. You know, Houston First has a funding source, the hot tax. So we're about to authorize something that we have no idea or inclination about how it's going to be funded. So I'm going to vote no on this issue for that reason.
But Councilmember Knox, that's the whole point of this item. Complete Communities really doesn't have a direct funding source from the city. The purpose of the local government corporation is to raise funds. That's their purpose, to raise grant funding, raise monies for it. So it's not intended to have a funding source other than the money that they will generate to support the initiatives and the projects of Complete Communities. That's why it's being created. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Castex Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor. had a couple of questions about this item. So I did ask the administration for a list of all the local government corporations that we have as a city, and I thought it would be prudent to share these with the council members, that the Houston Zoo Development Corp is an LGC that was created by Mayor Lee P. Brown. The Houston Parks Board is an LGC by Mayor Bill White. Houston Forest Corporation is an LGC by Mayor Parker and Lee Brown. Houston Amateur Sports Park LGC by Mayor Parker. Houston Forensic Science LGC by Mayor Parker. Houston Recovery Center, also an LGC. Houston Civic Events, Inc., also an LGC by Mayor Parker. Houston Land Bank, an LGC by Mayor Turner. Houston Spaceport Development Corporation, an LGC by Mayor Turner. And now we're being asked to do another LGC, which I think is good for complete communities. Edison Arts Center in Fort Bend, Houston, in District K, is one of the big projects that we have been working on in our complete community. You all know that this is an abandoned Kroger shopping center. The organization and the groups that have been working on this have raised $25 million. We have a $5 million gap that we are hoping to raise funds to get this project over the finish line. Unfortunately, it is going to take longer than our terms of service for some of us for this to happen, and we have to have a mechanism in place for us to get these projects over the finish line. We have worked with these projects and the people who have been raising this type of money for an organization to raise $25 million in less than 4 years, and now need $5 additional million to remove the blight that has been in Fort Bend, Houston for over 20 years. We need this LGC in order for us to continue to raise money to help these projects if we want to make sure that these projects that we have identified as a council get to completion through complete community. So I'm asking my colleagues to please support this item.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Ready to vote? In favor? Opposed? Item carries. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Show Councilmember Knox voting no. And Huffman voting no. Thank you. And Councilmember Kubash. And Councilmember Pack. All right. Next item. Thanks. Okay.
That completes the items on the agenda.
Thank you very much. And we start today with Mayor Can I make a motion that we extend past 12 o'clock? We just did. Yeah. Okay, thank you. We start with Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to spend my pop-off time just thanking you for your partnership and for championing, many of the projects in District B. We have been incredibly blessed to have you as a leader. Your administration, since I've got in office, but your administration has invested more in District B. There's been more resources in District B than any administration. And so I just want to highlight a few of my priorities. When I came in office, my priorities was jobs and economic development, tackling flooding, public safety, illegal dumping. And so just wanted to point out some of the successes I have over the years since I've been in office, since 2021. Under your administration, we've been able to steer more than $500,000 in workforce development, and these are dollars that went to the Be Successful initiative within District B, $500,000 for our Credible Messenger initiative. We just voted on that a few months ago, where it went to Collective Action for Youth to work with at-risk youth and young men and women. It secured additional days and hours at the city trash depositories. Over $18 million allocated to tackle illegal dumping. Flooding was a big issue and priority within District B. We submitted a total of 14 stormwater action team projects. 8 of our projects have been completed, an estimated cost of $3.3 million. An additional $20 million to the local drainage project, which was actually used to reverse this 20-old ditch maintenance ordinance. I want to give you a shout out for that. We saved the demolition of the Titwell Pool, thanks to you and State Representative Sophronia Thomas. Now we're going to have a year-round pool. Bethune Academy, making sure that there's opportunities for young men and women who are looking for whether to get into business or to and looking for work. So, these are just 8 points. I can go on and on about the accomplishments with District B, but just want to thank you, just for your ear and your open door policy and just doing everything that you can do to make sure that neighborhoods that have been left behind for so long get the services and the resources they need. So just thank you for your leadership and your administration. It's been a blessing. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Councilman Pollard.
Thank you, Mayor. These last 4 years have been rewarding. They've been challenging. Never did I think we would get elected and then jump into a pandemic a few months later. But I want to thank you all for your service, for your friendship, for the relationships that we've built, the memories and the time that we had. To all the outgoing council members, I'm going to miss you all. I hope that we can still find ways to collaborate and engage one another. I've learned a lot from each of you. I think the thing I love most about this council compared to a lot of other major cities is we're a smaller council, and we all have our own perspectives and our own mindsets, and I think that differing of thought pushes us professionally and personally. So I've grown a lot in the last 4 years. I've grown as a leader and grown as a servant, and many of that is because of each one of you all. So I want to thank you. I want to thank your staffs for the engagement with my staff. Mayor, I want to thank your staff and the entire administration, all the directors, everyone that plays a role in keeping this city moving every single day. It will be different with a new crew. I am excited about the future and where we're going because the things that we've put in place in the past. And so to each and every one of you all, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. I value to Mayor Turner. It has been an honor to serve with you. I've learned a lot from you. We have not always agreed on everything, but I appreciate everything that you do. The thing I think I admire most is you never stop. You keep going no matter what the circumstances are. Your stamina is never outmatched. And so I put together a video that they're going to play just for you really quick.
Wow.
To my mayor, the first memory I have of being civically active is standing outside the George R. Brown Convention Center as a young 7-year-old boy in 1991, passing out your campaign buttons for your first mayoral run. I did not fully grasp the gravity of the moment of you running to be the first black mayor of our city, but what I do recall is seeing how many people were excited to support you and thinking, wow, this guy must be really important. From then on, I followed you, and you allowed me to have a front row seat to your journey. From your time in the state legislature to helping me get my first legal internship, to encouraging me to become an alpha. You have continuously opened doors and provided me a roadmap to follow. That roadmap has led me to City Hall, being able to serve alongside you to represent the 4th largest city in America. As I am currently the only black male on council, you were there as a mentor and as an inspiration of what I can aspire to. Throughout my entire first term, I have leaned on you for professional and personal advice, and you have always made time for me to be a priority in your life. We've shared many moments and many long conversations. Sometimes those conversations were just me listening and learning. And although we did not always agree on everything, I've always respected you and always will. I wish you all the best in your next endeavors, and I know I will lean on you even more so that my political journey will have a chance to be as exceptional and rewarding as yours. Moving forward, please reflect on how much you have positively impacted me and many others. Not only are you my mayor, you are my friend, and I hope you take some time to rest, and may God bless you in all that you do. You up. You up.
Councilmember Shabazz.
I just need you to call my name.
Church Secretary.
Councilmember Shabazz.
Thank you, Mayor. I might need a little tissue. I'm going to quickly run through these events. The Manson Place groundbreaking ceremony in 3rd Ward was very, very significant. It's going to actually give low-income parents the opportunity to have a safe and stable environment while they pursue their academic pursuits, and that's going to be key. Also, we had the holiday fixings, food distribution in Sunnyside. That was very, very well attended. We were able to give items to 300 people. And I would start thanking a lot of people, but I don't want to use my time up. So I want to thank you, Mayor. As you chair your final council meeting, I am filled with profound respect and gratitude. And working alongside you has been an honor of my tenure. Your leadership has been marked by a deep commitment to the welfare and growth of our city, particularly in championing the causes and needs of District D. Under your guidance, we have seen transformative developments and significant progress in our community, and your ability to navigate challenges with grace and effectiveness has been an inspiration to us all. The legacy you leave behind is one of resilience, innovation, and an unwavering dedication to public service. So I want to make sure that I thank you, Mayor, and thank all of the staff and city employees, and certainly my staff, Stephen, Corey, Ingram, and Tucker, for their unwavering commitment. And Mayor, I tried to upstage you today, but you came in that red jacket, and so I guess you look better than I do today. Anyway, wear your hat, Mayor. Wear it proudly. You have done a tremendous service to the city of Houston, and I personally thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Huffman.
Thank you. As the newest member on City Council, I've really enjoyed getting to know and work with all of you. This has been an incredible experience, and Mayor, I've especially loved getting to know you. I don't think I've met anyone that loves the city of Houston more than you do, and I don't think there ever will be anyone that loves the city of Houston as much as you do. So thank you so much. I know this is a sacrifice. It's a service that, all of you do. So thank you so much.
Very much. Thank you. Councilman Cisneros.
I'd like to begin by thanking the constituents of District H for giving me the opportunity to do this. It's amazing how quickly 8 years can just fly by, and it's been such an honor to be here, and it's been really satisfying to have this opportunity to work with all of you, to get to know all of you, and to really come to appreciate your strengths and your passion. Mayor, you have been amazing. I've really tried to look to you for inspiration and how to be an effective public official, because I've never seen anyone like you, and to be so committed always, and to the stamina you have and the passion you have, and I've already told you. I think your sense of humor is a very effective tool for you too. Your singing is not, but I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity, and working with your administrators, but I especially want to give a big thank you to my staff. Y'all may argue with me about this, but I really truly believe in my heart that I have the very best staff. And I'm sure you may feel that way yourself about your own, but they've become family to me, and I'm going to miss them. They're hardworking and smart, and it's been such a pleasure, because and they have really carried the work, and I appreciate them. One of the things that I came to council for was an advocacy of children. There's so many things that's part of this job. It's so broad, and it touches so many different kinds of things. But for me, what I brought to it that was a little bit different was really centered on helping advance children, especially those who have the least. And I'm excited that we've been able to raise, the awareness about, what children need to be successful. Mayor, thank you for allowing the formation of the Childhood and Youth Committee on Council that hadn't existed before. I just wanted really quickly to say what the four goals of that committee is. I really hope that that will continue to be a committee in the next administration. I appreciate each of the council members who have also embraced, advocacy for children, and the departments that have done that too. Departments that you don't normally think of. I mean, everyone, automatically thinks of the library and the Parks Department and the Health Department, and of course the Mayor's Office of Education. But Public Works, the Housing Community Development Department, Human Resources, Solid Waste, Emergency Management, BARC, the Mayor's Office of Resiliency, Sustainability, Government Affairs, Administration and Regulatory Affairs, Trade and Foreign Affairs, the Legal Department, Police Department, Economic Development, Business Opportunity, Human Trafficking, Domestic Violence, HITS, the Chief Recovery Office, HTV, they have all played a big part in helping, shine a brighter light on the needs of children. And it's so important not to lose sight of that. There's so many things still to tackle that really need help. Affordable options for child care, that has a huge impact on our city, on parents being able to get back to work because they're stuck home trying to take care of their children. That affects what they're able to do in bringing money home and lifting our city. I didn't mean to talk so long. I did want to just to make the point about encouraging everyone to keep remembering children. Everyone says children are our future, and everyone believes that. But sometimes just having said that, it's not enough. You have to really to walk that talk. And it's easy to think that by saying that you're there with them, but they really need the muscle behind those words. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Cisneros. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Cassidy.
Thank you, Mayor. Last Thursday, we had a wonderful demolition in District K. Y'all know how excited I was about the MADCO to finally go away in District K. Residents were extremely happy. They came out to celebrate with us as we demoed that property. I will tell you, we were very moved by, there were even residents that came, Mayor, and said that was the place that, as a young person, they knew that they could go to buy alcohol without a license. There were people there who said this was the place that my family members bought their drugs, and we're so happy to see it being knocked down. So we're excited that we are moving forward, and we have lots of positive things to look forward in that area. Adjacent to the MADCO that we knocked down is Simon Mention Park, which is one of the 50-50 parks. Mayor, your administration has done such an outstanding job. We'll unveil that park on December 29th, so you are working till the last minute. So December the 29th at 3 p.m., we will have the unveiling of Mention Park, and I think it's going to be incredible for the residents who have strayed away from that park because of what was next to it. Right. And for us to be able to say we've knocked down the MADCO and we are unveiling this new park has really transformed that West Fuquay area in District K, so we really appreciate it. We had the sneak peek of the Dr. Shannon Walker Neighborhood Library this weekend, y'all. It was incredible. The residents were clamoring for those doors to open so they could see all of the great offerings in this new library. Dr. Lawson and her team did an exceptional job. She did remind me that the Meyer Park, which Meyer and Frank libraries are being combined with this Dr. Shannon Walker, the Meyer Park Library is the most utilized library before Harvey for checking out resources. So the residents are extremely happy that they now will have a library to utilize in a couple of months when we have the grand opening. We will continue to work around Dr. Shannon Walker's schedule to try to get her to the grand opening. That she has committed to doing an event for us in District K if she doesn't make it to the grand opening, but we're really trying to make sure we work around her schedule to have her there. Grateful that the NASA Johnson Space Center Director Vanessa White was there, and she introduced the video that we watched from Dr. Shannon Walker, and it was incredible. She was so excited about us naming the library after her. Many of you know she went to Johnston in District K. She went to Parker, and to Westbury. So, and then to Rice, council member. And so we're very happy to have her participating with us. And then want to let people know I'm again partnering with Clear Channel Outdoor, Lee Vela, and Crime Stoppers in the Harris County DA's office. We've got billboards up that they call it celebratory gunfire. I call it deadly gunfire, because we've got to remind people to not shoot their guns in the air to celebrate holidays. It is deadly. We 2 holidays ago, we had a resident in District K, a young person was hit by a bullet that was shot in the air. So we are asking people to celebrate responsibly and not shoot their guns into the air. And then finally, Mayor, and to the 6 outgoing council members, it has been an extreme honor to work alongside each of you. This time goes by fast, and people say government moves slow, but when we are talking about big projects and infrastructure, it takes time and it moves slow. I appreciate what I've learned from each of these outgoing council members. Mayor, it has been great to work alongside you. You're strategic. I remember the very first meeting we had when I was elected in the special election, and we sat in your office and you said, what would you like to see done in District K, council member? And from that time, you have listened to the suggestions that we've brought forward to you. You've worked alongside us to push a lot of items forward, and we appreciate it. District K is better because you have served. All of you have served. And I look forward to getting to know the new council members and the new administration that will come forth. 4 years is going to go by fast, so we can continue to make Houston better every single day. Happy holidays to all of you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, let me start off by thanking the mayor. It's been my pleasure working with you these past 8 years.
Thank you.
Improving not only District I, but the city of Houston, so thank you for everything. And to the constituents of District I, today was my last city council session as your District I city council member. I started my morning, like every morning, giving thanks to God for granting me this opportunity to serve these past 10 years, giving me the strength to stand up, speak out, and do the right thing. I'm proud of what we have been able to accomplish to improve the quality of life, not only for District I, but for our beautiful city too. I've had the honor of working with 2 mayors, Mayor Parker as well as Mayor Turner, and I want to thank you both for working with me to improve District I. I want to thank the former council members I worked with and my current colleagues here on City Council. We've gone through 7 federally declared disasters, including a worldwide epidemic. But here we are, Houston strong. It has been an incredible experience, and I want to thank you all for taking this ride with me. I want to thank all the directors for working with me these past 10 years. And finally, I want to thank my incredible staff that's sitting at the front here. Former and current staff members who worked with me these past 10 years. Leah Olive Nishioka, Diana Munoz, Daniel Santamaria, Gloria Alvarez Rodriguez, Celia Valles, Mike Moreno, and Ken Olive. With your help, we were able to do some great things for our district and for our city. And of course, for my Director of Constituent Services, Councilmember-elect Joaquin Martinez, who has been with me from day one. And I wish him all the best as the next District I council member representing District I. I too want to thank James Dinkins, my campaign manager and treasurer, for his dedication and hard work. It has been an honor and a pleasure serving District I. I thank you for this opportunity. Today, I will walk out of the council chamber for the last time as a District I council member, but I am content to walk out proudly with my head up high, knowing that I have given and I have done my very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Councilmember Robinson.
Thank you, Mayor. And I think, Mayor, I know you're working right up to the last minute, and we've got council afternoon here. You're going to keep that chair warm right about up to the TTI committee meeting, because we've got transportation technology and infrastructure at 2 o'clock in the chamber this afternoon. So anyone that's still here, you just want to stay, get some lunch. It's going to be great. We've got an action-packed agenda, Mayor. And so that does have 5 items that I'd like to mention now. It's a presentation on the Federal Update website. Mayor, that's from Bill Kelly in your office. Thank you very much. Thanks to Bill ahead of time. We're going to hear from the Harris County Flood Control District with the Modeling Assessment and Awareness Project. That's the Map Next software. Beautiful and really interesting technology helping us predict storms, severe weather events, and its impact on our neighborhoods. The Houston Permitting Center, Sally. We're going to get a permit activity report from the HPW, and the permit center is going to be talked about. We're going to hear from the airport system, flight information display system, and maintenance and support from HAS. And finally, Mayor, we're going to get a maintenance and support services for smart restroom technology, little combination of technology and the airports. And who wouldn't want to end up the year in the bathrooms? I don't know. Well, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's today. And Mayor, this afternoon, I guess later today, 5:30, we're going to have a really wonderful event. You've heard me talk about it before. It's the preview of the Dr. James E. Key and Mrs. Betty W. Key map room in the Julia Idison library right across the street. And this is a special collection of Houston, Texas, and southern border maps from the beginning of time, frankly. And council members, you received an invitation to that yesterday, so please join me for that. I'm looking forward to saving whatever dollars I can from the balance of my time on the budget to put that aside, Mayor. So just a little preview. I think we've been doing good on an extremely lean staff at the At-Large 2 office. Thanks to my team, led by our very capable Chief of Staff, Diana Caicedo. Christina Camarillo is doing great in her support. The incredible Haller sisters, my former Chief of Staff, Karen, on a wonderful volunteer basis, and her sister Kim helping us out. I guess I'm going to take issue with you, Councilmember Cisneros. I think I've got the best team, but I know we all do. To your point, that's true. We all love our folks. And Mayor, I just want to take a moment to say not only all the great things that have been said about this council that we serve with, because it's incredible, but you're sitting next to someone right there in Marta Crinejo, who is absolutely incredible, and she has served for... She's served for a number of mayors and in so many administrations in that chair, and we know how valuable she is to you, Mayor. I'm looking for our city secretary. Ms. Pat Jefferson Daniel is probably in the back, and we love you too. I'm going to be sad not to hear her read the agenda every Wednesday morning next year, so I'm leaving that to you ladies who are usually here with me, our Vice Mayor Pro Tem and my chair from the Housing Committee, Councilmember Thomas. So with that, Mayor, I think that pretty much sums up what I'd like to say. We got to call out the HTV staff too, because they do such a great job. So with that, I want to think about one thing, because this last 4 years, as Councilmember Pollard did an excellent job describing, and as the only African American male on the council, we have served in such a fortunate time for the city of Houston. Obviously, the 7 federally declared disasters that you've talked about, but it is so significant that we've had a majority of women. And I think in 2 council members' cases, Councilmember Cisneros and Councilmember Kubash, their seats will change gender. A man is coming in where Councilmember Cisneros has sat, and a woman is coming in where Councilmember Kubash will sat. But we will maintain a 10-7 majority of women on council. And that is just a good thing for this city. And we've been blessed by your leadership, Mayor. We've been blessed by a very wonderfully strong and feminine council. And again, I am super grateful for that. So I think with that joyous happiness to all, Mayor, if I could, I'd like to leave you with one bit of scripture that I've been reading in Bible class recently, and this does come from the books assembled by the prophet we refer to as Isaiah, and it's the 4th verse, and it makes me think of you because it's a short passage that says, "They shall build up the ancient ruins. They shall raise up the former devastations. They shall repair the ruined cities, the devastations of many generations." Mayor, and you're leaving this city in such better shape. You're leaving it for Ashley. You're leaving it for Alyssa. Thank you for all you've done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Thomas.
Thank you. I don't like change. I'm going to make this quick. I like what I like. But I recall when we had our first one-on-one when I was elected and you appointed me to the Housing Committee. And my first thought was, what did I do to him? Like, why would he, what is going on? But what that was, it was an early sign, an early indication that you trusted the knowledge that I had and you knew that I would be able to handle the amount of content and the detail of what's happening in our city. So I want to publicly thank you for that. I go hard for that housing department. And I think what your vision around affordability and making sure that people are housed and will be housed, generations will benefit from that beyond your tenure at City Hall, what the seeds that you have sown. So that's one. I also remember the time during George Floyd when the black council members were writing them letters, and you was tired of them letters. And I remember he said, if I see one more letter from them, I mean, he was upset. I was like, y'all, he really mad. That letter that hit the street. But even in the middle of our own tussles, right, and it forced us to be really deliberate about what was the best for Houston. Out of that, birth your task force, reforms, collaboration with the department, meaningful conversations, and again, generations will continue to benefit from that. And I want to thank you for demonstrating for the rest of the major cities on how it gets done in the city of Houston. I also want to recall April 2020, you called me 2 days and you said, listen, I have 2,000 masks. Can you flip them? And I said, well, I guess I can. And all the way on the west side, we had the very first, one of the first mass distribution drives where we served hundreds of individuals that were in line for hours. I remember that. That was a pivotal time because at first my first thought was, okay, so we're really about to get some action on the west side. I don't have to do this on my own because you already had the district on your radar, which I deeply appreciate. I know you have heard and will continue to hear until January 1st to December 31. Thank you, Mayor Turner. But I don't know if you realize how loved you are in this city. And I want you to just really sit with that. People call you our mayor for a reason. You're our mayor. And over those 7 federally declared disasters, the way that you've shown up, people in the streets that may not have even been registered to vote, you are their mayor. I have observed when you would come into community how people would be in awe that their mayor was in their neighborhood, walking their street. You have walked Piney Point when no other mayor even knew where that neighborhood was, and you walked each street, and those people were waiting outside for you, stopping in their cars because their mayor was in their neighborhood. So you're going to receive the thank yous, but I want you to sit with the love that the people of Houston will offer you and will offer you long after your term is over. And hopefully you really get to feel that because you are definitely loved and your fingerprints are on this city. I get the privilege of sharing in that and being able to witness that and being able to watch you lead in the midst of people challenging your integrity, people attempting to discolor your name. But in every situation, you would always rise. And I know sometimes I would get in that mic and be like, do it, say it, do it, because I like a little tussle. So I'm going to miss that. But thank you for allowing me to be your hype man to gas up. And anytime you're ready to tussle, we'll do that too. But I wish you well. To my colleagues that are leaving, it has been great. We could not have done any of this without you. My vice chair of 4 years. I'm going to miss, Robert Gallegos. I'm demanding the Public Works Department. I mean, I'm going to miss you and your team. There's probably a whole clip of Councilmember Kubash and I fighting over here and flipping his votes when he tags, right? I was good at that, and so definitely going to miss him. And then my colleague, Councilmember Knox, the way that we were able to rally around him after the death of his son as a council and as a city, I definitely will remember that, because that was definitely one of the first traumatic events as a council we experienced. So I want to continue to pray for him and his wife and his family as they move into the next season of their life. But job well done. That good and faithful servant. And I'm really serious about the love, because thank you sometimes can be routine, and people say thank you casually, but love is something different. And so congratulations, Mayor Turner.
Thank you. Councilman Cohen.
Thank you, Mayor. And I positively love this job. I love this job because the people around this horseshoe, the staff, everybody at City Hall Annex, everybody in the departments that I get to work with. It's just an incredible group of people. To the council members who are here, I'll talk to you. David Robinson, thank you for all your tutoring of me and mentoring of me. You've taught me so much, especially at TPC and at the TTI committee, and you are such a wealth of knowledge and have served your city so well. And I consider you a dear friend, and I'm really going to be sad without you sitting here. Councilmember Gallegos, Councilmember Thomas had it right, man. Your passion at this table is unmatched. You are absolutely all in for your constituents, and you are just a wonderful spokesman for the issues that they care about, that you care about. And I will miss your friendship. I will miss you standing at that coffee, at that water cooler, eating your breakfast every Wednesday. Really, really have loved our friendship too. Since I've been at City Council, as a staff or longer, I've really made some great friendships. Of course, we'll miss the ones that won't hear, but we're all talking so much. Mayor, oh my gosh. When you said you've gave it your best, you've given your best, I mean, it's so obvious that you've given your best. It has been a true honor to work with you. You are a complete rock star. If anybody's been anywhere in this town with this mayor, there is a crowd around him like you've never seen. And it's because I think you love this job. You positively love this job, and it shows. And you love people, and it shows. You came into office saying you did not want this to be a city of haves and have-nots. And you put your mind to it, and you put your initiatives to it, and the Complete Communities initiative that's carrying on is a great legacy of that.
Thank you.
The parks, the 50-50 park thing, you're transforming neighborhoods. I know I've talked about that before. So excited. I agree with Councilmember Thomas. When I got regulatory and neighborhood affairs, I thought I'd done something wrong too. But thank you. It's really been a great committee. This is a city of neighborhoods. So getting into their issues, noise and dogs and cats and trucks in the thing. I mean, it's been a wonderful, you saw something I didn't. And I thank you for that, because I really have been able to dig in and get some measures passed in that with your help. Thank you for your help on sidewalks. Thank you for your help on the funding of that. And how you started this meeting was speaking about the long-term fiscal health of this city. You'll go down forever as getting that pension thing done. I mean, that was all anybody talked about for years. And then the OPEB. These are not sexy topics, but you took them on, you made some changes, and you've really reduced our long-term liabilities, deferred maintenance of city facilities. All these things add up to that fund balance that you're talking about and that net position. And I thank you for your very wise stewardship of the city's finances. So with that, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Oh, Councilmember Cisneros is still here. Oh my gosh, how did I miss you? I was looking for those absent men. They're not here. Councilmember Cisneros, this is why you have Jordan Fraser as your chief of staff. She is not going to let anything slip through the cracks. What a joy it's been to work with you, and thank you so much for your conversation about the children and about education, and that's often not something that we deal with on the day-to-day basis, but you've made us deal with it. You've put it at the forefront, and it is truly the future of our city. So I am so grateful for your service. It's so great to see your family here, too. That was awesome, because we all know these families serve right along with us. So I love this job. I'm really thrilled I get to do it for 4 more years. Mayor, I wish I would have taken some more debate classes. I maybe could have got you on one vote. I never did. But you're an incredible leader, an incredible debater. It's hard to win a point against you. So thanks all. Happy Christmas.
Thank you, Councilmember Pack.
Thank you, Mayor. I think it's very fitting that I'm the last council member to speak at your last council meeting since you are a District A constituent and since I'm your favorite council member. I do want to thank you for so many things that you've done in District A. Even before I became a council member, Newlands Road, I mean, that was huge, that flood mitigation project. Other flood mitigation projects, Inwood Forest, stormwater detention, and the recreational component. I mean, that's such a huge game changer in the entire Inwood area and affects thousands of people from flooding and businesses as well. The upcoming projects for Chateau Forest, also in the Inwood area, that is so needed. And then Sherwood Oaks as well, that will be upcoming soon. And then countless street reconstruction projects. Your street reconstruction program, where you've allocated lane miles to each council district, has just made it so that District A has had so many street reconstruction projects that were not even in the queue before. And of course, the biggest projects of street reconstruction for Antoine and Tanner Road that are upcoming. And then the complete reconstruction and revitalization of Aaron Leday Park and Langwood Park, the new playground at RL and Cora Johnson Park, and the library locker at the community center. I mean, that has really been a game changer for so many communities who have been wanting their park to be something that it has not been for years and years. And people are so excited about it. They're using the park. It's become just something really, a great amenity in all of those communities. The rehab of Fire Station 38 and the agreement to fund the new Northwest Police Station. Don't forget about that. And when I think about your time as mayor, these are really the things that I'm always going to remember and think about. And what I really hope that you will think about is that you still have 12 more days left as mayor, and District A has more projects that you can fund in these 12 days. I had to say it. But thank you so much for your time as mayor. Thank you for your service. And to all the outgoing council members, thank you for your service too, and job well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all so very much. And I do want to thank Marta. Marta's been right by my side for 8 years. So very detailed, very meticulous. So thank you. My friend over there. So thank you so very, very much. Pat, thank you. First it was Anna Russell, and then you stepped right in. So thank you. And then Arturo over there with City Legal, thank you so very, very much. Marvelette has been right there as Chief of Staff for at least 7 of those 8 years, so thank you all. What an incredible journey. What an incredible journey. I'm not going to repeat everything, but thank you. You know, as I get ready to gavel out, I do wish the next administration all the best. John Whitmire will be sitting in this chair come January 2nd. And then the new members of City Council. And what you always want to see, you want to see the city continue to go forward. So you want to wish them much success. Because when they do well, city does well. And if the city does well, we all benefit. And so I want to extend my very best to the people who will be coming in January. But what an incredible city. this has been and is. So I go away with a lot of good memories, and and a lot of memories. Okay, so having said that, and then let me also say to the media as well, press, I know they love me.
They do.
I know they do. You know, they were told to do some of those stories, but they didn't want to do. You know, so I know they love them. But the reality is that it takes all of us working together. And what I can say, when you're facing the Tax Day flood and Hurricane Harvey, Tropical Storm Imelda, and COVID, the media was a vital part of that team to get the information out. That I do know, because we were in front having press conferences, sometimes 2 and 3 times a day. So even though you go through the tug, so to speak, it does take all of us in this city to make things happen. So what an incredible journey. Today, as I hit this gavel for the last time, you know, we shall stand adjourned for 2023. But I'll hit it knowing and hoping and praying that 2024 will be better than 2023. We stand adjourned.